Go about 3/4.
You see
it's
it?
blaring out, bro.
Is that what they?
Just do what I said.
Nope.
I feel
You guys
like
need to
these
hug.
lights are on lighter than it was last time. That's what I'm saying. So I think you have double brightness. Does the screen look like crap, guys? Since I've seen your comments, I went for 4 hours this morning before work and stood in the rain, didn't get nothing but one bite, missed it, wasn't ready. Now to work in the rain for 12 hours.
Damn.
Well, shoot, Wyatt. He said, "Whoa, wait, what the heck? We are early, Clint."
I didn't say we're late.
We're early?
Yeah, we're 3 minutes early.
I thought
Oh man, we came in. So all right, this has been.
He thought it was live feed for like the last 2 days.
I
I'm
know.
like,
I am
it's not till
so
Wednesday, dude.
messed up.
it was 5:30.
Here's everybody.
Podcast we record at 5:30.
You guys are late. No, for once in our lives we're early. It's because Marlon's not here.
We're early.
I said it. Marlon's not here. We're early. He probably got me.
That's not why.
That's not why.
No, because I've never been the reason why we're late. No, it's probably funny because
I can't
his
wait to
phone-
see his comment.
Exactly. His phone probably pinged and he went 6:26. What in the world? Oh man,
Nailed
what is going on, everybody?
Cam looks like he's covered in bait, Brad. I told you, dude.
It is really bright lighting, is it not?
My arm's yellow.
Yeah, I think we might need to tone it down a little bit,
Sure.
just a little bit.
It's just
Whatever.
Have you look at it on your phone?
Okay, wait. What do you say? Are you all pissed again tonight, Cam?
Cam's
Yes, always
always
pissed. Always.
yeah.
There's always something stupid in this world.
Yeah.
Look at this. Everyone's like amazing early. 6:27. Would have lost money on that bet. I didn't realize, like, we kind of rushed in here. So Ryan and I were up in the gorge today sturgeon fishing, got in here, just rushed in like, okay, we got to go. Got some stuff. We're talking plunking tonight for Steelhead. It's a subject that you guys have been asking about for a long time. Next week, we'll be talking drift fishing, some plug fishing, and some spoon fishing. But we're going to talk about plunking tonight. I got Blair Johnson here and Ryan McCon. Marlon's on assignment. Jordan's on assignment. Everyone's gone. So we're just going to weed our way through this. Yeah. Cam's drink looks like it'll turn into Ninja Turtle. Orange juice?
Yeah.
Orange juice. Come on.
Come on.
If Cam ain't pissy, then it wouldn't be fun. I mean, okay, you guys want to get me started on some stuff. Let's go. Like, do we really want to?
No,
No?
Calm down today.
we don't.
We are running on ragged. Shot an elk yesterday.
Shot an elk, packed an elk
Had a
out,
pack of
drove
elk
all
out
the way down.
yesterday. Drove to the gorge. Drove up there, shot an elk. Drove back to the gorge today. Had to fish a longer day today. Like the one last day. And guys, like the season's closed. I don't know, at least in the Bonneville pool.
Yep.
Phenomenal season. I know we didn't talk about it. Got a couple cool stories we'll talk about tonight a little bit while you guys are tuning in. Be sure that you guys are sharing this out, hitting that thumbs up on the YouTube, like and share. We got a couple little announcements. We'll give it some time because we actually are early tonight. Most people are like, "Oh, it's not 6:48."
I had that one fish just drag me out all day today.
Oh, it's just unreal how long, how long we fished and how we just barely made it in here.
I had 55 inches, 37 and 7/8. I could not get the last keeper today.
It was crazy. I never measured so many 36, 37-inch fish in my career up there.
But it's good for future runs.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's a lot of good.
Next year, that hole's going to be banging.
That's a lot of good fish that are going to be coming up in the
Evening
future
fill.
years.
Yeah, so either way, guys, good sturgeon fishing. We're kind of coming in here on our last legs, I guess. Oh, you see you got coffee. Smart.
You missed it. I had to get out of my long johns. I stripped down before you got here.
You got a what?
You got naked.
I didn't want to see any of that. I wouldn't want to see any of that.
We didn't either.
You didn't really have a choice. I was going to.
But you did, huh? But you did. Are you on?
He's upside down.
Let's see your. No, let's see this guy.
I'm on.
Oh, okay.
I was just wondering
Well,
if you
maybe
guys
you
could
could
do the
adjust
live
his
feed.
volume. Can you hear us okay, guys? What's that?
I was going to wonder if you guys could do the live feed if I was standing here in my underwear and be okay and talk.
Test. Good.
Yeah, you're just a lot quieter.
Yeah. Back to college today. Oh, Curtis. Good job, though. I haven't caught a sturgeon yet. That'd be a blast. Well, that's one thing great about this fishery is you're pretty much guaranteed to catch one.
Man, there's a lot of good catch and
Now-
release opportunities coming up.
So now you're right. As I say, but odds of keeping it are, well, you never know. But
Lots of fish.
lots of fish, lots of opportunity in the gorge, guys. No shower scenes this year. No. TJ knows. That's a very
We didn't do
shout out, old school shout out, not old school.
It actually popped up on my memory yesterday.
Yeah, that's what Alyssa was saying.
Yeah, I was like,
We
but we
didn't-
were too busy pack. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna share it or any of that. It's been seen once before.
It's dirt. You should play. We should play it on here.
We didn't do the hotel scene quite as much because they spaced us out.
Yep. So since they spaced out the season, we didn't spend any money in a lot of the rural communities. We just drove in, drove out. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not going to stay up there for 2 days. It wasn't a real good idea. And no, Clint is running it, so naturally something will go wrong.
Too far away.
It was upside down too.
You're also real quiet.
Too quiet.
Too quiet.
Better?
Someone says they hooked.
Better.
40, got 3 keepers. Yeah, we had a day.
Yeah.
What was it? Saturday. I think I had a girls
Saturday.
group, and they counted. I said 100. They counted
yeah.
120, I think, to get 3 keepers that day. It was tough for the keepers, but a lot of action, just all of us, right?
Lots of fish.
Yeah,
Lots of
just
fish.
lots of fish and lots of fun.
I measured 10 on Saturday that were over 36 and under 38.
Well, it's a good fishery, and obviously the way they've managed it with that quota, leaving that quota where it's at, I mean, it's provided good fishing continuously.
Yeah.
And this year, too, there was a lot of, good mid-range keepers.
Yeah.
Lots of 47, 48s, 49s. I'm going to tell a story about a 53.5-incher tonight. I got a cool picture to go for it. A good, cool shout-out, too.
Text it to me.
What's that?
Text it to me.
Oh, I'll text that to you, Clint. Maybe I should have done that beforehand. It's on me. Terrible. So let's do this real fast. First thing I want to do is I want to thank Stevens Marine for supporting and sponsoring this podcast, guys. It is spring Chinook season. I think the boat show is going on right now. Am I correct on that, Clint?
If it's not this week, I think it's.
Yeah, if it's not this week, it's next week. But you can also check out Stevens Marine at the Portland Sportsman Show coming up on February 15th. So huge shout out to those guys. They sell good boats, and they are very, very, very knowledgeable. 53.5-incher, what WTF? Yes, what the fish, exactly. What a fish. Yes, goats. We'll be talking about that in a second.
I actually got my new motor coming from Stevens.
Yeah.
Gonna put it on the sled. Get ready for springers.
About time you learned, young Padawan. About time. It takes a while.
She's been good. She still runs good. It's just time to upgrade a little bit.
Yeah.
Upgrade. I'm kidding. I'm texting Clint this, so you guys should talk. I'll send him that picture too. Wait, that's a what? No. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
January 12th to 16th.
January 12th to 16th. So that's what?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Boat show's
wait,
tomorrow.
No, that was last year.
Oh, you idiot. Clint, come on.
Show.
Oh, there it is. I'll send you 2 of them. But don't show them until I tell you, because I think it's a cool story. Yeah. I got to give a shout out to that guy.
There's a good comment.
What's that?
11th to the 15th.
Cameron's tired.
So today.
Always. You guys are we're running right now, man. It is just go time on fish.
It feels good.
What'd you say, man?
Today.
It started today.
11th to the 15th.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So check out Stevens Marine Portland Boat Show, and also at the Portland Sportsman Show. All right, we need to do a question and a giveaway. We need to get this going because
You got any up
What's
there?
going on, Levi?
I feel like this little
Hope you guys are doing
addicted
good.
tail out twist or tail out jig or oh my gosh, sink it jig.
What's up, Josh?
You know. Oh, we're talking plunking.
Are those your guys?
We're
From
doing some
today?
spinning glows
Just
for sure.
People? Clients?
We'll do like a little steelhead kit today. Ooh, and a maglet.
Is it bad that I can't even read those comments?
you
I
can't see
would
him.
say it is. You're going to have a hard time passing your next Coast Guard there, man.
I just did it a couple weeks ago.
Well, that's scary then. That's really scary. All right, I got a
Hey,
cool.
someone asked, they bought a VIP bash ticket. Does it come digitally? That's a good question.
That's a good question for Marlon. Because I don't do any of that. And
you know,
Marlon's
on that,
not here.
Clint? Any idea?
I'm assuming it was. So we've done them where they've gotten email confirmations and people print it out. I know, like for the movie, we had a list and they had an email confirmation. You had lists, you were flipping them through, and we had tickets. Like, so I think we'll have you covered one way or the other. But that is not. I have been out of those conversations.
I think he was going to do tickets like the movie. Right?
Tickets.
Last week was what he was talking
Like
about.
paper tickets.
Like, have them, yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what we'll be, but we'll have to tune in on that. And then I know next week as well, guys. I know I already saw one person ask about it, but we'll do the golden ticket drawings and giveaways too for the month of December. So a lot of big prize packs, a lot of cool stuff in there.
I'm just glad I got a jar of shrimp today. Blair brought me a jar of shrimp.
Sweet. We got over 350 you guys watching right now. Here's this prize pack. Little Steelhead prize pack. We got a mag lip 3.5. We got a sink it jig, a good pink peach head, and since we're talking plunking tonight, we're gonna do 2 packs of Sminnagles. This is the first prize pack, guys, in a good color, a really good color, very close to the best color, but a good color. But we're gonna talk about that tonight. Good evening, Joaquin. What's up, bro? All right, prize pack. Question.
It's loud, huh?
Question. How many of you guys are going to the Puyallup or the Portland Sportsman shows? Yes or no? And if you live in Michigan, we won't hold it against you. Cameron needs the Breaking Bad stuff right now. This is going to be a bad life feed.
Oh, man.
I am done.
No, this is...
I've
my
been
phone?
sick all week. I've had this crazy cough. Like, I
Dude,
can't sleep at
Go
night.
get my
It's
phone
disgusting.
and send Clint the
It's
pictures
terrible.
of
I feel like
Cameron
you're nailing it.
dragging the elk out on the cart.
Oh, yeah,
so they
we
can
could
show
do that, too. We could do that, too.
We got some pictures.
Because we're still technically early because it's only 6:38. Most nights we haven't even started by now. So all you guys are getting a prize pack. Yes or no to the Portland or the Puyallup Sports. Just yes or no. All you got to do is comment to win. We got getting close to 400 of you guys in here tonight. If we get over 500 viewers, we might do something really cool.
But we still got. Oh no.
No, he made me give it away.
Bass reel?
Bass reel's gone. The bass reel's gone. Because if that person doesn't claim it, I'm taking it home. Sometimes people win on a comment and they tune out. And then they never, if they don't email us, we don't know who won.
Right.
And then a lot of times, and then the people, when they win, they got to go back and check to make sure that's actually who we draw.
Right.
So don't get creative out there, boys and girls. No have to work to buy more merchandise. Jake, that's a good, you're doing good work there. Appreciate it. I've got COVID. Oh, I missed that one. Dang, everyone's commenting. Your thoughts on the 225 or 250? Maybe Clint, scroll up to that motor question, just because I'm kind of curious if it's a question we might be able to answer. Your thoughts on a 225 or 250 pushing a 25 Columbia or like Bill Rock in a 300R?
225.
I can answer that. We can all answer
We
that.
can all answer that because you've got the 250 V8,
Mm-hmm.
I've got the 225 V6, and Bill's got the 300R.
Mm-hmm.
They will all be very, very, very good for pushing it. And being that I have the smallest motor, but I have the smallest motor for fuel consumption issues. And that boat will still go 47, 46 wide open with me and 4 guys.
And I have a heavier 26.
And I have that exact boat.
I have a heavier 26 footer that I'm putting the 225 on. You're not going to really gain a lot out of the pump with a jet pump on it. Now with a prop, obviously you can gain a little bit, but how fast do you want to go standing up?
How fast do you want to go standing up? And then once you jump from that 225 in the new Mercs to the 250, you're going from a V6 to V8. Now, obviously, you got plenty of power. You roll me when you want to get on it.
Yeah.
So,
But what I got it for was because I wanted a little bit more power in the tributaries, and we found out that with the pump on it, it's actually not that much of a difference to pay the extra fuel. With the pump on, it doesn't make that much of a difference. They're very
it's more efficient with
Because
the
it's
pump.
the same size jet pump and the same.
They're
Basically,
bigger
not really.
engine.
You're gaining very little.
They're very close with the pump
Okay.
on. So 225 is plenty with the prop.
And I think the 300 is the
Scroll up,
same.
Get that question. I saw one in there.
Same power head as the 250, right? It's just tuned up.
Yeah.
So you're
Oh,
still.
God, never mind.
Their best motor seen.
What was that?
Did you see it, Glenn? Scroll up. I gotta give
Scroll
credit.
up.
I gotta give credit Phil's question there. I just gotta give credit because that's
Keep scrolling up.
Why don't you post these on the damn freaking board? Because you're supposed to be a producer. That's what I was talking about because it was funny.
There's a.
Which one?
Cam has
The kid said Cam
Cam
had the
has the
smallest. I heard that.
smallest.
Okay, I will
That's all
give
I
credit to that because that was stupid for me to say that, and I deserve that. That's funny. I have a sense of humor. Aren't you guys awake? You didn't rip me for that?
I laughed.
Gosh, Lee.
I feel like I've been listening to your jokes every day.
Shut up. I don't joke with you. I don't joke around.
Did we pick a winner?
No, we have not picked a winner yet. But a lot of people are slashing. So, anyways, hope to answer the motor questions. But those guys at Stevens, man, they are pros at putting 225s, 250s, and 300s on Columbia.
Here's another question: 300 outboard motor. Do they make a 300 horsepower jet for the big 300? It's the same jet. They only make like small, medium, large, extra large. So basically, when you guys get up to those 200 and above, it's the same jet pump that you're going to put on a 300.
But they do make it.
Just a different impeller, but they do make it.
Yep.
There you go. And shoot, maybe one day, like, I mean, what would you guys want to do if I like bring some of the Stevens guys in here to like
Pete says, "Where's
talk and answer some questions? We can do that too.
Look at that one. Yeah.
That's me.
Say it like you say it, Cameron.
No.
Come on. What, you got shy?
That's behind the scenes.
That's behind the scenes.
He yells it across the river every time he sees him. It's not really like it's a secret.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
Hey, watch when he says when Cam reads out your comment for the first time. Well, see, I'm supposed to have this producer that sees good comments, funny comments, stuff that we can interact with.
Oh,
he's supposed to be putting up, and that's why when Marlon does it, it is so much better than when Clint does it. Because Marlon actually produces, he actually does it.
There's another good motor question.
I'm sure it is, and I'm not going to see it because it's going to rip off the screen without Clint grabbing it and actually
From
doing
pump
his
to
job.
prop, I saw a question about a jack plate. Now, jack plates do work for moving your motor up and down. All of us run bay kits, and we actually move 2 holes on our motors. Doesn't matter,
Right.
Evinrude or Mercury.
You got to worry about the type of jack plate you put because what you don't want, at least with the Columbia holes, I don't know if we're still referring to that or not, is you don't want that distance of that grate getting back there too far. It's why you don't ever see like offshore bracketed pumps.
I don't
kind of defeats the purpose, but right. So they're going to recommend that you don't do it. Now I know there's like someone I know,
Casey
has a thinner jack plate. And it's not like a hydraulic one. It's one they can screw up and down.
Yeah.
And they say that one works pretty
They're
good.
about $1,500 for those ones.
Yeah, so it's not, can't remember the brand. There is a way to do it, but generally, if you want the best performance, at least with the Columbia hole, they don't. They want them on the transom.
Well, I just think it's a more solid setup too, not using the jack plate to move your motor like the bay kit. That's why we all do it that way. We move our motors. And we run, what would you say? I run prop on my big boat probably 70% of the time.
Yeah.
So looking for the best performance out of the prop, you know?
Yeah, the prop's a priority for sure. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, guys.
You gonna be nice to Clint?
What are the pros and cons of jet pumps on outboard motors? You lose 30%. Definitely not torquey on your arm.
A lot of pros.
You don't hit the ground.
Yeah, you can go in shallow water. I guess
that's the only advantage of the jet because you lose speed, you lose fuel consumption. They are a little easier to drive on your hand, like Brian was saying. They don't, since you don't have a skeg and you don't have a prop biting the water.
Yeah,
you can turn them easy. But Mercury's got the power steering now, so honestly, a jet turns as easy as the prop. The other manufacturers not so much, but.
What was the question?
But yeah,
Stevens will only, if you're putting I think it's over 150 horsepower now, that if has a prop, they will only put them on if you guys have power steering. I know that for sure.
And honestly, the power steering now is so good.
So nice.
I've had mine for 4 years now. And every time I go in there, I go, hey, like replace the parts, do something to it, fix it, do whatever. And they're like, There's nothing to do.
Yeah, I've driven both their boats, and my new motor was definitely getting power steering. Tired of playing Armstrong with the
Pick a winner.
250.
Sorry, Clint. We're going to pick a winner, guys. You guys have been commenting great. You know, maybe this is obvious. You guys are asking some really great questions for this stuff. Obviously, I think we need to do a live feed on this.
On boat.
We want to talk a little sturgeon. We want to talk a little plunking, but we definitely need to do this.
Yep.
VIP for Portland says Jeff Cooper. Jeff Cooper, congratulations, dude. You won the Steelhead prize pack that I just put together tonight.
Great work.
Maybe Marlon will chime in here and be like, hey, give away a backpack or something cool. Everybody message Marlon. He loves it. Just kidding. Do me a favor, Jeff. Email orders at addicted. Send an email to orders@addicted.fishing. Tell us you won the first prize pack tonight on the Steelhead Plunking episode. And we'll send an address and we'll send it out to you. We'll have other prize packs we'll put together. Blair brought a lot of cool equipment that we're going to give away tonight.
Over to Clint?
It's all his personal stuff,
Get the one
so
with me.
I don't care. And I think we'll give it away.
Yeah.
Send the ones with me and Cameron.
All right,
Side
all right.
behind it, too.
These usually go on the chair, so I'm just going to throw them right there. All right. Rigged. It ain't rigged. I don't know, Jeff. It's so rigged that one time Sharon won. Marlon's wife.
No way.
Yeah, he goes.
That's definitely rigged.
And he goes Sharon, and we're like, yeah, you're not winning that. And then it went to somebody we drew somebody else.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's serious. So like anybody could win, including Marlon's wife.
But obviously you picked another winner.
Obviously, we picked another winner because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Sharon has enough of that gear if she wanted it ever, which she doesn't, clearly. We need videos on boat maintenance. It's not a
That'd be a
bad
good one.
idea. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Honestly, plunking seems boring to me, says Brad.
Brad. Sorry.
Is
about
plunking
your
boring?
I would say, I guess if you want to just cast and throw something and be constantly active, but a lot of people really enjoy the relaxation of it and the excitement when that rod buries down, you know?
A lot of people like catching fish.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when here's the thing about plunking, guys. Like, I like plunking because it's effective.
Yeah.
It is very, very effective, and
There's-
it can be very, very busy.
I would say, I know
There's-
I did. I grew up plunking. I know you did. I think you did too. We all grew up.
There's places right now in around our home that you could go cast all day, and you won't get them. You know, there's places where that's just the tactic, and it's for a reason.
It's not boring.
Fish are
if you
moving.
don't
I
have
think
a
you
boat.
catch a lot fresher fish when you're plunking too, for sure. There are fish moving up into a system, sea lice, bright
It's
fish.
easy to drink beer while plunking. Another great
Huh?
question. Another
Make-
great comment that I should have put up there.
Make a fire.
Are you on your phone?
What do you want?
Who's Facebooking it up?
No.
No,
I'm
Here's a good question: bobber dogging versus plunking. When to switch? Well,
Those are
depends on
apples and oranges.
how
Apples and
high in the
basketballs.
system, how high the water. I
Hey.
love high water for plunking,
What
and
were you texting?
it's definitely effective down lower in the system when the fish are coming in and not pocketing up.
I sent you 2 pictures like
For,
20 minutes
for
ago.
me, if
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you were doing.
for me, if the fish are
You're
moving,
such a
if
liar.
the fish are moving,
You are such a liar. You are a terrible liar. What the?
See, I'm still waiting on her pictures.
you guys good?
I sent him through Facebook.
Sorry.
Oh, Facebook?
If the fish are moving,
Liar.
all right, go ahead, Cam. You want to answer that question?
Yeah.
What?
Pipe down for just a second.
If the
I'm
fi-
done.
if the fish are moving, plunking
Hold on a
is
second.
the way to go. And if you have staging fish or fish that have stopped, then I would bobber dog.
Yep.
But it's pretty hard to get steelhead that are shooting through an area to bite a bait that's moving. That's my opinion.
Yeah, they're traveling. They want to come up and see it, and they'll kind of look at it and swipe at it,
Yeah.
and then move on if you don't get them.
The steelhead that's moving is going to have a better chance at a bait that's stopped than the baits that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
they're both going different directions. For some reason, it doesn't seem to work. We've tried.
And especially, I think in dirty water, like they smell that shrimp, sand shrimp. They can smell that bait, and they're kind of following that scent trail like a sturgeon would to find your bait.
Yeah. Yeah. Low in systems for
Well,
sure.
there's something too. Also, like whatever you're throwing is just being in their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something they got to get around.
One thing I can say, you guys, I prefer to find a spot when you're plunking on a system that the fish have to go around. Let it be a rock, a dead fallen tree, a new tree in the water, somewhere that's going to funnel those fish and make sure they see your gear.
Yep. Funnel all the fish, not just you want to be somewhere where you feel like the most fish are going to see your bait.
Can you plunk with bait? We're going to be talking about that tonight.
A lot
And
of systems you can.
There is. Yeah, we're legally.
A lot of places you
applicable.
can't.
Most, yeah.
No, actually, I was actually referring, Clint, to the comment that the FAA canceled all the morning flights. Pretty sure it's Clint's fault.
I don't work for them. I don't work there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind. Plunking in front of a dam works great. Camera knock him out in 30. I must have missed that one. Never plunked before, but my rivers are chocolate colored and 75% of flood stage. Should I try plunking or wait for the water to come down more? So really,
If you want to fish.
generally, so when you look at rivers, and this is why this plunking stuff is talked about a lot, when the rivers are high, that's generally when plunking is more effective, and that goes for small rivers, small tributaries, or even the bigger Columbia.
Yeah.
There's years where the trollers sit outside in the Columbia that's a mile wide. It doesn't matter the river size. If that water's high and flowing and pushing mud and pushing debris and cold temperatures, and it's shoving those fish to the sides, where they're going to be up on the banks, a little bit shallower, a little better visibility, those boats sit there and watch it. Those plunkers absolutely smash them. So there is an absolute time and place where plunking, just like any technique, is more effective. And when it's high and dirty and muddy water, and he's asking, well, it's 75% of the time it's high and muddy water, that probably, honestly, could and should be your go-to.
Oh, yeah.
Can you plunk with a center pin? Sure. You should do it.
You can do whatever you want.
Let me know how it goes. Yeah. How long does the sinker and leader line have to be? Our plunking. Okay, so we're going to go
into some of that.
We're going to go into some of that. I heard black corky in muddy water compared to orange or pinks. We're going to go into some of that too. Blacks and whites tend to contrast better in muddy water, supposedly, but I think fluorescent pink's pretty bright too. But I think that's where the black.
I definitely do like the Michael Jackson spin and glow. If the water's a foot of visibility or less, black is one of the last colors that disappears for the fish, and it's something that they can see better.
Mylar
No
wings
question.
or black wings? Would you go the
Steelhead?
flashy
Are we talking steelhead or salmon?
Steelhead.
Steelhead, black wings all day, every day.
No Mylar ever.
I mean, if you give me the choice, I'll take black wings every day. What plug that has a black bill on it doesn't catch more steelhead? I've taken Sharpies and painted every one of my mag lips and put a black bill, and they catch more than just the straight colors.
You mean like that?
Yeah, that side cam. Show that on side cam.
No, we will later. We'll get into the colors.
I think there's a time and place, and there's a big discussion about color and everything. In dirty water, I've never gone just straight black, but I've always gone to bright oranges and stuff like that and done pretty well. So it's kind of hard to tell.
Can I plunk 30,000 CFS river that normally is around 1,000?
Yes.
I would say yes, but it all really depends on your
Absolutely.
water. At some point in time, the water color and the height and
I've caught them
extreme
1 feet
flooding.
off the bank when
But
trees are just coming by.
right. That's what I'm gonna say
If
though.
you-
But if you were only gonna do one technique in those situations where
That's
it's
it.
flooding, visibility is less than a foot, it is garbage. Plunking would be your
Only
Yeah.
bet.
your only at bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't. It could be 30,000, but you
Is
could
the
still
size of water a
have
factor?
a couple feet.
Again, no. Generally, though, all rivers, and I could probably say that when it's a small tributary to the Columbia River, generally plunk and fish better. We're talking steelhead here when the water is high and the water is
Yep.
high and flowing fast.
And I think why is because when the water gets lower and clear, they can just go around it. They're not funneled into that lane that your gear's sitting in. And I think a lot of times they can just be 5 feet this way, 5 feet this way.
I think I think when the water's high and dirty is when a lot of people go to plunking, but I've smashed on low water years. low in systems. Like those fish
Well, think about like the summer steelhead and the sockeye in the Columbia. By then, sometimes the water's lower, and you still do good. It can be effective anytime.
For the people that aren't just doing it because of water conditions. For the people that are just doing it all year, it's good all year if the fish are coming through.
Oh yeah, if they're moving and they're getting their bait in front of them. Sometimes in bigger rivers and bigger water, if the fish are running out where they're not reaching, well, you're never going to catch them.
Right,
So
but in the smaller rivers, you can throw it out there.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Yeah, I mean, think about.
And I think lower in the system, closer to the tidal water or where they're coming from, is going to be better on the clear water situations. You get farther up in the system, if it's clear water, I don't think it's as effective.
Right. That's kind of goes
high
back
chocolate
to the
milk or dark green, like
question earlier.
I mean, dark green can be 3 foot of viz and steely green versus a foot of viz and muddy off. So,
can I plunk fish on the bank? That is where you want to do it.
Yeah.
You can do it out of the boat too, but
yeah.
We're kind of talking. I think we're talking bank plunking. It's
We're
very
mainly
similar.
going to talk, but a lot of this stuff, a lot of the riggings, and a lot of like what we're going to do with the coon shrimp here in a bit,
We'll switch
can
over.
be talked about in the boat.
Yeah. And a lot of what we're going to talk about
There's a good question
is
right
the-
above that, Clint.
is the exact same way that we will do it for salmon as well.
Are bait casters better? Definitely for plunking, I would suggest a bait caster. You don't really want a spinning rod. You want something that you can throw heavy lead, set tight drag on it, load the rod up.
But if you're not familiar with casting a bait caster, start with spinning.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's another one of those.
Or if that's what you have and you don't want to
Yep.
buy another reel or whatever, you could plunk with the spinning, but you will see most people using a bait caster, absolutely.
I've never been plunking. Is it something you do combat fishing, or should you be on your own? TJ, plunking is very popular. There's going to be times where beaches are going to be very, very crowded. In those situations, there's probably fish moving through.
I think for steelhead, you're looking for those little spots that aren't combat fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if you're plunking for salmon on the Columbia or bigger systems like that, you're going to be shoulder to shoulder with guys kind of lottery fishing. On the smaller systems, you're looking for those little sweet spots that people don't really know about and trying to catch those traveling fish.
And you will know when you're in combat plunking areas because you'll find gravel bars a couple 100 yards long where everybody's got their truck pulled up, and then if you get in where you fit in, you'll know if it's one of those spots. But most of the time you're looking for a few rods.
Talk to some landowners, get some private access below those gravel bars, and watch the rod just get folded.
Yeah.
Dumb question, not a dumb question. Can I put tuna in spawn bags to give more smell or shrimp? Absolutely. Tuna balls.
Excellent technique.
Yep.
More for salmon, but who knows?
You happy?
You're doing great.
Killing it.
Thanks for paying attention, Clint. We
Wow.
love you.
Killing it.
He worked for 5 minutes there.
He said you're
Do you
doing
notice
great.
do you notice how like that last like 5
Man,
6
that's
minutes
good orange juice you
flowed
got.
through there,
Smooth.
just like worked through there? Do
Smooth.
you understand now? Yes. All right. So how many viewers do we have? We have almost 500. Just shy of 500.
Getting up there.
All right. Before we get into plunking though, I don't know. I guess we're already into plunking. We're into plunking.
We
I
are.
guess we'll talk. We'll do the shout out later.
We need to rig one up. Show people.
We need to
what
rig
this-
one up.
Yeah,
So that's the
people are
idea.
Lost.
So what we want to do, guys, is we want to take this from pieces to the setup, the basic setup. We're going to do, honestly, the basic spin and glow and coon shrimp setup. Obviously, only use it where legal, but we want to build one. But we want to talk about rod, reel, line first, because that's what a lot of people are asking about.
Yes.
We don't bring 10.5-foot plunking rods into this little studio because it's always a nightmare. It's always a disaster. But a lot of your longer, heavier trolling rods that you would generally do like some 360 fishing with.
Yes.
Anything, 9 foot and above, 9 to 10, 11, 12
Those
feet.
10.5
would be good.
and 9.6 extra heavy.
Extra heavy because it depends. Like sometimes plunking, you utilize a boat to pull gear out.
I would say heavy.
But you generally want to lean on the heavier side of things if you want your leads back. You're towing a lot of gear.
Well, you need to be
sometimes
able to-
it's way out.
15
Me,
to
you
30.
need to be able to control the fish. You're on the bank most of the time. You got to be able to control the fish.
You got to be able to clamp the
especially
drag. Yeah.
in tidal water where there's trees and roots and all kinds of stuff that stops at the rivers. You want to be able to not just get spooled out and broken off by these fish when you hook them.
Right.
Well-
15 to 30 rods, 20 to 50, whatever.
My favorite plunking rod is one of my favorite salmon trolling rods for
Yes.
360s. It's a 1062
Good as it
XH
gets.
Akuma Guide Select Classic. So if you need to buy a trolling rod, or you have a trolling rod and you want to like try plunking, vice versa, well,
I actually had
you've
guys
got
in
a
my
rod
boat.
that
Guys in my boat today asking about plunking for steelhead, and I go, I use those for my sturgeon rods because they're fun. We catch a lot of shakers and smaller fish. And I said, that's the rod you want.
if you guys go back on our Addicted Fishing YouTube channel, there's a lot of plunking episodes where we do sockeye. Marlon's always into the wobbler fishing for summer Chinook.
Yeah.
Those are the same setups, and those are the setups we're just pulling out of the boat to go plunking with.
I guess it depends on if you're
casting those,
it
though,
depe-
or you're using
Sometimes we are.
Yeah,
it,
you're
it
casting.
depends on if you're going
That
out.
Chevy can cast it.
I was throwing 20 ounces on the XH today.
It
20
depends on if you're going out to the Columbia or if you're doing something in smaller rivers, because a lot of my buddies that have plunked forever are more on like a 10 to 20
Mhm.
that they've had, and they're pitching 5 to 8 ounces on it,
How far?
15 feet.
15 feet. Yeah. So I think I guess we better be careful here because we're going to tell some people like run a 10 to 20 out to the Columbia. Probably going to be a little underpowered.
That's why I said it depends
Yeah.
on. We're talking.
Well,
You're- no, you're right. You're
he's
right.
on a
He's
bigger
right.
system that doesn't have a lot of where the fish can move more too.
We're talking winter. We're talking plunking winter steelhead.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people out on the Columbia right now plunking winter steelhead. We're talking tributary mostly
Sure.
plunking winter
Sure.
steelhead.
That's fair. That's fair. You got
So
it.
there's not a lot
That's a
of
good point.
guys that have to go through 20 ounces.
No.
No.
They're like you said, they're pitching 6 ounces from me to the camera.
Yeah, you
exactly.
You could almost drop it and not even cast. You could just drop it right off the bank. But either way, also when you're talking about them eating bait, and whatever, you want a fairly sensitive tip as well.
See what's going on.
Which those rods have. That's also important. You don't want a 7.6 broomstick. You know what I mean?
The Okuma Slido salmon herring was my favorite.
Yeah. That's basically
For years for plucking. Yeah. I mean, a longer, heavier rod that you can maybe pitch 68 ounces
with also a
at a minimum.
yep.
There
And
we go.
and also has a sensitive like that rod's for trolling herring. It has
Yeah.
a sensitive tip on it.
And I think you got to like I said about being able to control the fish. Some places you can definitely get away with a lot lighter stuff, but a lot of times I see guys plunking on the bank and just get smoked by
It's
steelhead.
not a technique other than watching your rod tip for like a crapfish bite or something stealing your bait.
Yeah.
Like it's not a technique that like a lot of times the fish hook themselves. You're not really setting the hook. There's gonna be times people like to run down to the bank
yeah.
and run it up 25 feet. But for the
Yeah.
most part, they do it themselves.
Yeah.
And then you're also, like you said, you're going to want to clamp the bank, and you're also going to make sure you want to control your fish and maybe not have it go down the bank into 25 other
Oh yeah.
guys. Because a lot of times, like, if you're on one of those gravel bars areas and you're fishing and there's a lot of people around, like, people will move and like give way and try to work with you.
Yeah,
But
they're good.
you don't want a fish to go 100 yards down a bank when guys with heavier gear are going to be like putting their feet in the sand or in the rocks right there, sticking that fish 20 feet down.
Yeah.
So you got to think about it like, maybe we'll do a diagram on that too. I
There's a
don't know.
good question here. I'm also curious everyone's thoughts on plunking braid.
Oh,
Currently
that was going to be my next
perking
question.
mono.
Braid or mono? Let's do it. Braid or mono?
From the bank, mono. From the boat, braid.
I have buddies that are all like 25-pound maximum.
Oh, here comes his drawing board.
No. Keep talking about this. I'm drawing something else.
They're all 25-pound maximal ultra green.
Why?
And
Tell me why braid
because
or why mono? Excuse me.
so your lead's out there 15 feet.
Okay.
You come tight on a 15-pound steelhead.
Okay.
You're using 15-pound to 20-pound leader braid. You come right down to it, and there's no give in that. And mono, you have a little bit more give on a fish that's pretty close to you and still wide open. I
have a couple reasons.
I fish braid, but there are arguments for
For people getting into plunking, the mono is going to be easier to cast when they're trying to learn how to cast these leads than the braid, I think, out of a bait caster. I also like the shock absorption when the fish is chewing on it. It doesn't necessarily need to be just nice and sharp and crisp. So
or freaking out right at the bank when you're first hook them.
Yeah, I mean, braid. The only advantage of braid is if it does get you into like root wads and stuff like that, you can pull them out where the mono is going to fail. But
most people like, shoot, I don't plunk around too many root wads. You know what I mean? Like
the thing about I plunk braid over mono all day is because of line diameter and weight. Because if you go out and you try to plunk like a 30-pound braid or a 30-pound mono, like you are going to need significantly more lead. And depending on what you're doing, if you're breaking stuff off or if you're trying, like, let's say you're running lines in the Columbia, like a 30-pound braid is 1,000 times more
But we're
superior.
talking tributaries.
Or
Columbia,
tributaries too.
braid.
Tributaries too, even casting short, the braid with a thinner line, it drags less. And you'll be, instead of using a, 6-ounce lead, you might be able to use smaller. It's probably always better, I'd say, as a general plunking.
I call plunking old school. And old school's been running mono for 100 years. This technique.
Yeah, that's why that's why you're running mono bobber dogging. Like you're not, and there's a reason why you're not. And like I said, I think you have the durability, you have the thinner line diameter, and you're using less line, and so you're getting less drag with a braid, and you're getting more durability, dragging fish up on rocks. And I'm not going to argue because I know these guys that are up and down that river. They're all fishing mono because that's what they're doing. And they have caught thousands of steelhead. I mean, thousands of them. I mean, not tens of thousands over the years fishing mono. But I think like when you have the opportunity to run braid, it's just cleaner. It's more durable.
Yeah.
You use less lead.
I haven't seen it.
There's advantages and disadvantages that you guys like. Yeah. When you're tying a 3-way swivel, we got to talk about the rigging. But when you're tying it on, I've seen the braid tangle on guys a lot that aren't used to casting those kind of leads.
Get better at casting.
I'm
just kidding.
I would say on the Columbia, it's a no-brainer. And on the small rivers...
No-brainer for what?
To run braid.
Oh, braid. Okay.
But on the small rivers, I run braid because that's what's on all my reels. But... the people that I fish with and my buddies have a good argument, and they are using the same amount of lead.
Nothing wrong with improving old school techniques. Braid works better.
They are using the same amount of lead.
Tomato.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I don't want to take I want to just say it again because I see a bunch of comments here. Like I'm not taking away, and I know guys with freaking mono smash, kill, and probably plunk 1,000 times better than I could ever dream of. Yeah. Like I'm not even gonna say it, but like I think there is some merit to telling people. I just feel like you just get less weird stuff happening with braid. Just in general.
I fish braid.
I fish braid. I need a little t-shirt. I fish braid.
Is that a no-no?
Go to Bonneville with braid. I know a lot of people that go
to Bonneville one thing that's really nice about braid, when you break it off, it ruins the whole hole for everybody. That's that's
awesome.
Yeah.
At least mono sucks to be you, bud.
At least mono gets out of the.
At least I can get the braid back.
I have seen that before, where someone broke off a bunch of braid in a hole, and it ruined that hole for everybody
until it comes out.
Yeah, and it takes a lot to get it out sometimes.
Real fast, just because it's a good point, we kind of missed on it. Thoughts on using I missed it. The comment go up a little bit. Thank you, buddy. Thoughts on using surf casting for plunking? Absolutely, that's what you're doing.
Yep,
you are surf casting. Longer rod, heavier rod. Can pitch a few ounces of lead, like you're in the game.
All this just depends on where you are and what you're doing.
You'd be surprised what you could plunk with.
Yeah,
like I think.
Oh, I've seen guys plunk with their bobber rods. I mean, we're talking about steelhead plunking. We're not talking about.
And if you think about plunking, right? Like, what's going to make you a better plunker? Like the rod and the reel. I think the line could make you a little better just because your weights, but like, okay, let's take that out of it. Like the rod and the reel or where you're putting your stuff.
Where you're putting it and what you're
Because
putting.
that is like when it comes to plunking, high water, low water, steelhead, tributary, Columbia,
It all
depends on getting something in front of them, understanding where to start, understanding how long to be there, and getting something in front of them. So like I don't want to get too much further lost on the rod in real talk.
No.
Because like
I have a
where?
I have a saying about that. I always say, put your gear in I-5. You don't want it on some side street. You want it in the freeway.
I'm going to use that because that is a
Put
very
your gear
good
in I-5.
understanding.
Yeah.
And just stick it in the middle of I-5, something's going to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got on a side street where a car goes by every once in a
Got it.
while.
I'm going to use
your
that.
odds
Brian,
go
that's
down.
the smartest thing I've ever heard you say, and I've known you for a long time.
I also
I do
like
like that. That's
plunking winter steelhead
Mhm.
to plunking summer steelhead is also different from our mono to braid talk, right? Like maybe those summer steelhead are going to see that braid and maybe they wouldn't see the mono depending on what you're doing. So I think it's all situational, and we're just going to go over kind of our opinion on it, right?
Yeah.
We're casting a pretty broad stroke right here.
and you might hear us say like, oh yeah, muddy water, high flow, low flow. Like you really just got to get out there and just kind of like do it in your area because like
Yes.
everyone's perception.
Brad
and
Smith
perspective
just
is
said it.
completely
Reading
different.
water is most important. 100% agree on that one.
In the winter, you
And
can
that's
get
where the
away with a
whiteboard's
lot.
going to come in. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I'm not. That's where the whiteboard's going to come in. Maybe. We'll see.
There's a good one from Justin Short. Don't be afraid to use a heavy leader too.
Oh.
I see a lot of people
Yeah.
using light leader in the winter. 100% agree on that. I don't think, I guess you could go too heavy, but definitely 20
What's
to
too heavy though?
like
Perspective.
over 30-pound test.
Okay.
20 to 30 is where you want to be on that, and I would not be shy. I don't use fluoro when I'm plunking
Over
because the
500.
fish are traveling up behind the gear and they're not really seeing. The first thing they're going to see is that spin and glow or that plug.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you want something that's strong. I like Maximo Ultra Green, 20 to 30.
But do color of the beads really matter in the end? Sorry. I think that's pretty funny. Are
I've-
those guys brothers?
Who?
You two?
Who's he talking
I
about?
think about you two.
I think they're talking about you.
I think he's talking about me and you.
Oh, I'm so sorry for you.
That's not what no comment. You can't say anything
Yeah.
nice. Don't say anything at all, right?
Yeah, all right, guys. So line and rod, line and reel. If you're going to buy a setup right now and you're going to start plunking, you want
50-pound
something.
braid.
Yep, I was just gonna say if you want something that can kind of do tribs, take it out to the Columbia and feel pretty confident. Start with a 50-pound braid. Start with a heavy trolling rod. A line counter reel again is another thing. We'll
Mhm.
talk a little bit about this in a minute. That is going to help you because when you cast out or when you get ran out, whatever you do, boom, you cast that lead out. Oh, I'm at 25 on my counter. I put it in my cool little rod holder. I get a fish.
Mhm.
I know I was 25 out versus 20 out versus 30 out. And now chances are if one fish moved that way, fish are crazy because why do we catch steelhead behind the same damn rock every year? Because
Yeah.
it's just how they instinctually run.
They-
So chances are if you get that line counter, 25 out again, it's go time. There's times in the Columbia when we're running for summer steelhead or summer chinook, we're running 180 out.
Oh, yeah.
And when you get out that far in the kayak or the boat and you're looking back at the bank, you have no idea how far you are. You can see the depth and stuff, but you'd be amazed at how fast you could dial stuff in, especially if you're working together with a few guys on the bank. Let's say you're going plunking, steelhead plunking. Right now, tributary, 3 of your buds. One guy goes out 15, another guy goes out 20, another guy goes out 25. Well, the guy at 15 starts catching them. Well, or he starts getting some action,
I do that.
So line counter reel.
Line counters are awesome for
Line counters
everything,
are
I
just-
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Good
they're-
way to go.
could be a rock that you don't see or a piece of something
Yep.
that they're coming
Just
around.
a little dip or impression. That's the sweet spot, huh?
It's huge. And I always a lot of rivers you can use a few rods or you have a few buddies. So that's always how I start if I'm plunking. I'll have just work away from the bank with a few rods, and then all of a sudden somebody starts hitting them, and then you can zone in on where they're at.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's accuracy by volume too, because when you're running lines like on the Columbia and you're fishing three lures per person, you're covering pretty good cuts.
Yeah.
And you're going to figure out where they're going.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, let's see a setup.
I think we need to rig one because a
of
lot of people probably don't even know what we're talking about.
We're going to do a basic. So we've got our pretend right here. I have my rod, reel, and line.
Okay.
Running it down from a braided line.
You gonna do your whiteboard on a setup? Or
Yeah, but
just-
you're going to tie me a setup while I do the whiteboard so we can show people what's up. Go off of the side cam. We don't need that right now. Thank you. Are you okay?
Side cam's blurry.
Side cam's...
I was trying to fix it.
Oh,
I was
okay.
ready to go.
You can go, Clint.
Okay, go ahead and
you
do
can
that.
go.
You can do it.
I'm good.
You can do that.
God, you
Good
got to
pro-
be nice to the Clint.
No, a good producer would have made sure that wasn't blurry before the live feed.
You guys just.
You
need
have to be forward thinking and understand.
You guys.
You have one job. You have one job.
Good job, Clint. That looks good now.
There you
Thank
go, Clint.
you.
There you go. He knows.
Do we have scissors up here or anything?
No, if we did, I would fucking stab it.
There's a sword right here you can use.
Okay.
I'm a bass fisherman. I notice when using a jig for steelhead, you don't actually jig it or twitch it, but just let it flow downriver.
Yep.
Is that true?
It's true.
Answer that one while I draw my Picasso.
That is true.
Ooh, water. Yes, a lot of times steelhead,
The water
when
does
you're
a
using
lot.
a jig, it really... Oh, look. Thanks, Marlon. Marlon chimes in. Side cam is blurry, FYI. He must be delayed. Marlon, you got to click the little live button down below. Just kidding. No, a lot of times to the bass angler, when steelheaders jig, they throw it on our bobber and just let it drift by because steelhead prefers something that's naturally kind of floating by that's really colored.
Oh, that's a great one.
Anyways, and so you're not actually jigging or working the jig. They will bite some twitching jigs, but for the most part, steelhead prefers stuff.
Clint,
that's
we're good,
naturally-
right? All right.
I like you.
This comment says Clint's going to be the next
No, we're
famous
not
murderer.
gonna
Hey,
do
I'm
that.
in the clear, Clint.
Yeah,
I've
we're-
always had your back.
I haven't. Bring it.
God damn it.
Oh my gosh.
Can you plunk in the rain? Definitely. I love plunking in the rain.
When else would you plunk?
Hey, the fish are already wet. What's the matter if it's in the rain?
Yeah.
Rising river, plunk all day.
I've had some of my best days of fishing that I can ever remember have been sitting on the bank with a bunch of buddies just smashing.
Smash it.
Smashing. It's underrated.
Keep an eye on him, Marlon. It's getting... Oh, it's getting wild up in here, boy. How's Vegas?
Marlon's on it.
You need an Etch-a-Sketch.
Shut up.
That'd be. I think it'd be good to watch
Shut up.
you do an Etch-a-Sketch.
No, it would not.
He
Not
can't
good.
hardly do stick people.
Just
dude.
stop it. I'm trying to draw. Bro,
I'm confused.
you should be.
What is that?
What do
It's a
you
spinning
think
globe.
that is, bro? What do you mean, what is that? Bro,
Okay, I'm
Bro.
with you. I'm with you.
bro. Hold on.
Is it this?
Is it frozen?
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
You got the bobber dog in.
Oh, no,
Picture
it's not
on it.
frozen. It's, hey, hold on. Hold on.
What is Clint
no,
doing?
No, he's being a dork. He thinks he's funny.
You're funny, Clint.
Just stop.
I love
20.
some of these comments
Wow.
coming through.
They're pretty funny.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that one.
Artistic masterpiece from Marlon, I think.
Shut up. You're not here right now. All right. Basic plunking setup.
It's
Mhm.
always
Are
a
we ready?
20-pound steelhead.
It
on
is
your-
always a 20-pound steelhead. That's all we catch, bro. They're all 20-pounders. Side cam.
You ready?
I think. Oh, jeez. For heaven's sakes.
Move your Kool-Aid.
There we go. Oh. Boom. 20-pound hatchery steelhead. I don't know why
Dude,
that's
that's
not-
actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty
okay,
good.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you
You
did.
jerks.
You did good.
Anyways,
Great job. You see how you get compliments when you do something right?
So this is a
Pat on the back.
very basic, but will get you there. Absolutely, smash fish, catch fish when they're around, and when you've done your homework and have
look at
put
that.
fish in front of 20-pound hatchery steelhead.
Cam
Jake,
and Clement.
Jake, if your drawing is your new background, dude, you guys are gonna. Anyways, I'm not gonna say that.
That's my setup right
This
there.
is setup, and the reason why this is red is because this is a lighter breakaway line in case this guy snags on some rocks,
Which happens a lot.
which does tend to happen.
8
Triangle lead, generally triangle or round ball.
Triangle.
Triangle. How long of a dropper do you like to use, Blair?
4 to 6 inches.
There's no way I'm going to draw that upside down. So 4 to 6 inches.
Yep.
Now, do you change that?
Not much. Just so it breaks if it gets hung up.
Sometimes
4
I'll
to 6 inches.
go straight to the 3-way, put it right on the bottom, lengthen my leader a little bit with the spinning.
So, okay, so I was going to talk about that, but you are smart and you know exactly where I'm going. So if you're going to do 4 to 6 inches, how long is your leader then, Blair?
My leader to the spin glow.
Yeah, from the
36 to 42.
Okay. You guys get the idea. But now what Ryan was saying is that if this is only an inch, because you want to, sometimes you said you put the weight directly tied
Sometimes, yeah, I'll put a dual snap on it and just clip the triangle or cannonball right on it.
especially if you know you're not going to snag
And
it.
I'll run like a 4 to 5 foot leader.
So you're talking something that's 0,
Zero.
and then something that you're going to do like 48 to 60 inches.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the water depth. I think if you're fishing some shallow water, you definitely don't want that dropper there. Like if you're fishing a fast corner where they're coming up and they're just stopping for a minute, I want that lead right on the bottom. And for beginner plunkers, it'll alleviate some tangles again. That I try to make it simple as I can, you guys.
That's the only reason that I would not do a dropper is if I was tangling or doing something like that. Because it doesn't really change that. It doesn't really change the distance that your spin glow is from the gravel that drastically much. Unless you're lengthening your leader a bunch, then we're about the same, you know?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of people, the coon shrimp backwards, definitely you want the head facing downstream.
That's the head downstream, bro.
Well, I know someone asked the question.
Hold on.
Backwards coonie is okay.
There's
yes.
There's his little antennae.
That's the only way you want to put it.
Can't you tell?
Don't.
Can't you tell the head's
Read
downstream?
the comments.
Oh, okay.
Don't ever put the head towards the spinning glow. You definitely want to rig it that way. And I think Blair's going to rig a setup and show you guys
We do
exactly
have
how to do it.
We're going to talk a couple different ways because some guys prefer the little the curved way. Where it's just still curved in its natural position.
Still head downstream.
Yep.
Oh, it's still head. Oh, good point. It's not laid flat.
No.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Head down.
Sometimes it is better. I've seen where the fish like it, where that shrimp's just staying there and the spinning glow's spinning. Sometimes that when you do it, where you hook it through the tail like that, you'll get this little twirl, and it triggers the bite. You just got to play with it.
Especially on salmon.
Yeah. Wait. Well, Cameron asked, would the leader going to the lead be lighter so you could break it off if needed? Yes.
6 to 8 pound test.
Right.
Yeah, run a lighter lead. That's why I tried to color it red so we could distinguish that this line
You should write
is
it right
not
above
the
your little
same
arrow
pound as this line, as your leader line.
I use 6 to 8, and my leader's probably 20.
There you go. Now
I run 10 to 12 on my dropper, 20 to 30 on the leader, 50-pound braid, or 30-pound mono. 40.
Shut up.
Man.
It's just fun to just rag on Clint, okay? It's all it is. How much leaders? So 10 to 12 pound for your dropper, 50-pound braid. And then what's your
20
leader?
to 30 on the leader.
20 to 30.
Non-fluoro.
Non-fluoro.
Yep.
What?
I want that. You're on the bank. I don't want that brittleness that fluoro or I just want a strong leader.
That's not. If you're using 20 to 30, that's
Everybody
not
watching on your phone, screenshot that right now.
That's
There you go.
That's not important. If you're using the 20-30, use mono or fluoro. It doesn't matter. And if you're using 20, then use less than 12 on your dropper.
Yeah.
What is the girth of your
needs to be
leader?
What's that?
What's the girth of your leader?
Shut.
It's a great question.
Cam, that's a salmon, not a steelhead. No, it's not. It's a 20-pound hatchery steelhead. Read the freaking diorama.
Hey, when they don't get a 20-pound steelhead, whose fault is it?
Not mine. They suck at fishing. Because I catch 20-pounders all the time. Shit, I haven't got 20 in years.
See, yep, 25 ultra green.
25 ultra green, yeah.
That's the line.
So the key point is with this guy is that it's kind of like what we talk a little bit about, with you're going to be catching a fish. You're going to be dragging around this lead, right? Let's talk about this leader. Fish is coming this direction to eat that bait. He's not seeing all this nonsense. Like that presentation, he's going this way. He's going right at the back of that coon shrimp or right at the back of the spinning glow or sand shrimp or whatever else you got. And it's not seeing the heaviness of the line. Now, you probably don't want to do, crazy 50-pound because you're not, first off, you start running real big line, especially with tributary steelhead fishing. You're going to have a very tough time tying the proper hooks with the diameter of the thicker leaders.
And putting the shrimp on it, trying to get this tail under the loop.
So you gotta there is a fine line. Honestly, I feel like it's 20 to 30.
Yeah.
But you probably this doesn't mean you get away with, well, if it doesn't matter, I'll just put 50 on it and not give a rip.
No.
That poor 6-pound steelhead ain't gonna have a chance.
It matters.
20 to 30, real simple, you guys.
You gotta have leader that you can work with the gear. Now your braid obviously doesn't matter. You're tying one knot right here. It doesn't matter on your three-way swivel. Doesn't really matter.
Or not?
No. They're not seeing it.
They're not seeing it. Again, they're coming this way.
In the summer, it matters.
I like high vis because, especially if you're plunking around other people, then you can see each other's lines. So I like high vis for plunking.
Mm-hmm.
This time of year, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Heavy line will affect the spin and glow action. Yes, it will, especially if you try to really size down the spin and glow. But that's why I'm saying the 20 I feel like is 20 to 30 I feel like is good.
There's a great comment right there.
No, it's not, Justin.
And
is that your Justin?
Yeah.
That's not our Justin?
What did you say?
I'm telling Tammy.
What is the girth of your shrimp?
I'm gonna tell Tammy to get off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell Tammy to get him off the interwebs.
All right, get your drawing out. Blair needs to rig something up. He needs to show him a real one.
Anymore.
The heavy line also does affect how much your spin glow and shrimp is going to be.
So here's another great question. That was a great question. Yeah, he said, does your hook size going to match up to your spinning glow size, just like your beat? And yes,
absolutely.
The answer is absolutely.
I like my hook to fit over the top here. Can we show this? Let me get over here for a second.
Yeah. No, yep. We're gonna.
Are you gonna show that other?
Well, and then the other thing. Okay, so real fast.
Side cam.
Hold on. Stop. I'm gonna stop you just for a split second. We're going to elaborate on this diagram in a bit because there's other things you can do. Because I saw people asking, what about two spinning glows? Where's the plug? We'll get there. But now we need to show you guys. We're going to bait up some coon shrimp. All that. Sorry.
Side cam.
Side
please.
cam.
So here's the spinning glow. You can see the fatter end on it. You got your narrow end, fatter end. What I like to see is I want my hook size to go over the top of the spinning glow. I don't know if you guys can see that there. So if you take a larger one here, see how it doesn't go over it? To me, that hook is too small if I'm going to run this size. So that's just kind of a general rule that I use, and it seemed to be very effective over the years. I think you guys would agree on that one, right, Cameron?
It's probably a good place to start. Yeah, absolutely. Second smartest thing I've heard you say.
Jeez, I'm going back to the other side. You get.
No, that's a good way to.
All right, Blair, show him how to tie that up.
I'm getting some.
I'm putting my art away. We got well over 500 of you guys watching, talking, plunking. Great questions tonight. so far.
So what he's doing right now is tying just your standard egg loop on.
Let's start with just a single spin and glow coon shrimp setup, and then
Yeah,
we'll add the second one.
That's what
Okay.
I'm doing.
Thank you. You want to show the egg loop?
Yeah, go with it. Show him.
Basic egg loop, guys. Not basic, but is it basic?
Yeah,
Egg loop. Are egg loop basic now?
just your normal. Do you want?
Shout out to Melissa.
Yeah, stand up, Melissa, because like we know like who the real like.
Come on, you've been
Riverside Guide
working your
Service
butt
is.
off.
We got special guests in studio. We got Melissa. Yeah, say hi to Les. There you go.
Hi, Les.
She's
Okay,
here.
go back
She's
to
been
the
working. She's been out sturgeon fishing. Her hands are all beat up. She just can't. Between catching fish in Mexico and sturgeon, her hands are just hamburger. She just has a hard time
That's so
leaving the
fun.
gloves on. I tried to tell her, leave your gloves
You
on.
got to go
always.
Nick Popoff on it. You just got to go
Yeah.
Nick Popoff. Just wear them everywhere. To the grocery store, to bed, to shower.
I don't know about
Just
that.
wear the gloves. To a Christmas party, like just everywhere. Just
Put
wear
the gloves on the skin.
Put the Put the gloves on the skin. And then when he takes them off, his hands are literally as white
I've
can
seen
be.
It's weird.
Oh, good stuff. We're going to show you guys. A couple guys are asking about the beads. We're getting there.
What's up, Jared? Higginbotham, Yakima bait.
I didn't see. Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's got a crush.
Got
on you.
Ryan in there. He looks handsome. He is a handsome
What's
guy.
he have?
He is a handsome. He's made for you, Jared.
He said Ryan's handsome.
He did.
Well, listen.
Back up, Jared.
I was just gonna say competition. Melissa.
Oh, that's
Oh,
weird.
Tammy. Tinkerbell. Why don't you guys have more girls as guests on your live feed? Well, shoot, we could just get rid of Ryan right now. I'll just get Melissa in here.
All right.
I said one hook, bro. I'm kidding.
There's a good question.
I-
What about sliding
Psychic.
leads?
I've
You can
never
definitely
fished
run
one.
sliders. I like sliders for plunking.
we were gonna like when we get to that basic set. I want to show people the spin and glow and bait, and then we're gonna talk about because he's a slider guy. I'm a fixed
Well, I
guy.
just want to say one
I've
thing
got
about
this.
sliders.
So-
If that fish hangs up that lead and it doesn't pop that lead, I like how the fish can run and
Yeah.
it gives it more time for that lead to pop free or break off.
Something might wiggle out.
Yeah.
Gives you a second chance.
It gives you like a second chance.
And I feel like that if you're fishing small rivers and you're fishing fast water and you're trying to get your lead to hold with the lightest amount of lead that you can, when the fish grabs it, it can move a little bit without that lead dragging downriver. Because right when the lead starts moving downriver, the gig's up. They know. So the Columbia is far different than tributary fishing. There's on the Columbia, a solid tie is fine, but on the smaller rivers, I think its sliding is a huge benefit.
And we're gonna elaborate. Like I said, we're gonna take that basic diagram. We're gonna show some coon shrimp rigging, and then then we're gonna add all the other stuff to it.
Okay.
There's a lot that
Swirls.
like
You
there's
can-
so
you can-
much
you
that
can
goes into
tweak
plunking.
so much, and I can tell you, like when you talk about plunking setups, because like I already see like what Blair tied up here, and I'm like, I don't like that. But because we all have all the time in the world to sit on the bank, and
Yeah.
not like one way is better than the other. There's a million different ways to catch them. That's all I'm saying.
And I think we all, at some point, when we start missing and losing fish, we're
we're
all
all-
changing our hook setups.
Why did I
and
miss
doing
that
this,
fish? I mean,
spacing them out.
never mind that it's a wild animal. It doesn't
Yeah.
act the same exact thing like every other wild animal should act.
Yeah.
Like, ask you, why did you miss all those sturgeon bites today? Shouldn't you just hook them all?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
They should all act the same.
I
I
didn't.
watched you miss them today. Shut up. Because I missed a million too. Just saying they don't all bite the same way, but you start thinking about all the different ways to do it. And all those guys on the bank with their rods sitting in the water all have a million different, like, oh, you got to have the pink bead.
Most of the time,
Can have the
I
blue
feel
bead.
like it's how the fish are grabbing your bait. Hook setup is
Yeah.
kind of important, but we can spin our wheels and jump around all over the place on hook setups. And at the end of the day, when those fish are grabbing it and eating that bait good, they're hooking good.
With spin glows, I like to have a few more beads to get that shrimp back behind the spin glow. I would rather
Close I can.
the steelhead come up and eat the shrimp and never touch the spin glow, if that's possible.
Can you zoom in there, bro? I think you can.
That's why I'll use
Can you get me
a
water
few
on
more
the boat?
beads to drop that shrimp back. If I just had one
Grab
bead,
me.
when the steelhead comes up and eat it, it's for sure getting that plastic in its mouth too. That's the reason that I'll use a few more beads and try to drop it back. And I usually do a half a finger between two single hooks. I want
Yeah,
that.
you got a little gap. Yeah, you got a little gap right there.
I'll try to have that, depending on the shrimp size that I'm using, whether it's clear water or muddy water. I'll try to have that back hook back there by the head and whiskers.
Hold that like spin and glow up to your thumbnail. What size spin and glow is that?
I don't know, but Jared's on, so maybe Jared could tell us what size
Here,
spinnacle
there's
that
a package
is.
right here.
Oh yeah,
know.
we do.
I know what
Here's a 4.
I know what size it is.
What size is it?
This is a 6.
This is a 6 right there.
This is a 6 right here.
That is not a 6.
That's a 6.
And one thing I want
It's
to.
Oh, he didn't know. Yeah, good. Wrong cam. So that's a size 6 spin and glow, which is probably like your kind of middle of the ground starting point. Will you catch them on smaller? Yep. Will you catch them on bigger? Yep. What are you looking at, Clint?
Oh, it just looks bigger in the camera.
Yeah, this is a 4 right here.
That's my
So we have a size 4 here, and a size 6 here. You guys can kind of.
6 is kind of the go-to.
Ray
I
Paul
feel.
has a simple question. Put the
Yeah.
shrimp on the front hook or the trailer. Always on the front hook.
So this
Always,
guy
always, always.
versus this guy.
Sometimes I'll put the second hook in the shrimp.
Do you
Sometimes
want me
I'll
to
just let
rig
it
one?
hang.
Yeah, if you want to. I got gloves. There's some blue gloves right there to grab if you want to use that. And I'll let you rig one, and we'll rig one here because I think it's real important to show you guys a little bit.
Also,
That's
these
creeping me out.
these hooks are
Like,
these hooks are bigger than what I would normally use. I brought them for demonstration purposes.
Okay, so these hooks
Eggs.
are bigger than what you would run.
much bigger,
Much bigger.
much
Egg.
bigger.
It clear-
cuties or sand shrimp go for.
Yes.
I'm gonna say
Yes. All of them.
all
If
of
you had to
them.
pick one, though.
Oh,
What
I'm
would
gonna
you
take
pick?
sand shrimp for winners. But when it comes to winter steelhead,
You're
I'm
also
gonna take sand shrimp.
you're also talking out of your boat a lot, right?
No, I'm talking
No,
bank
no.
fishing.
I'd say sand shrimp in the right spot because I think sometimes.
I'm saying if you had one to choose, one bait,
See, I'd pick Cooney. And not because sand
is it
shrimp.
because of ease of access?
It's because of like durability and how it fishes. Not that sand. I would say though a sand shrimp and a Cooney, like a sand shrimp and Cooney, you're sitting 4 inches apart. What do you think the steelhead's eating?
Dirty water?
I think
I think he's
Water,
going to take
water.
that sand shrimp.
Take sand
A
shrimp.
winter steelhead, when it comes into the tributaries or the systems, it is gorging on sand shrimp in the saltwater right before it comes in.
I don't think it's just winters.
That's the last thing it comes in and eats.
I don't know why it would be different from winters or summers. I just have both.
Well, I think summers, the water's clear. They like that red.
Oh yeah. What do you guys think? Maybe we can do another giveaway on that. How about that? Guys, because I know I've been seeing a lot of great comments on here. We've got well over 500 of you watching right now. And I've been seeing we got some veteran plunkers in here. What is it? What's your best bait for winter? Let's keep it winter steelhead.
Yeah.
Coon shrimp, sand shrimp,
Or eggs.
or eggs. What's it going to be?
And we'll pick the winner. We can just do a prize pack from the shop. Mike can just pick stuff.
A random prize pack. Okay. We're going to let them know.
And
I'll let them know.
my favorite way to figure out is usually
Coonies all day, every day. Sand shrimp. Oh, this is going to be good. Sand shrimp.
Usually you have a few people going, or in some of our rivers you can throw a few rods.
Oh, some eggs in there.
So I like to start with both, and then it's usually pretty apparent. The fish kind of tell
I'm
you
a veteran punker. Eggs.
if you have
Wow.
a sand shrimp on your top rod, and the fish swims right past your coon shrimp and eats the sand shrimp, then it's pretty good indication.
I am very surprised.
How many
because
people are saying
it is
eggs?
really like all three? I mean, it's like, to me right now, it is a 3-way tie. It is like But
I'm seeing more sand shrimp and eggs, and I was surprised on the eggs because the eggs milk out fast and they're just not as durable.
I was seeing a lot of. I mean, yeah, I'd agree with you on that. Now,
Lots of shrimp though.
lots of shrimp. I mean, could shrimp be coonies? I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing though, because again, like talking a little bit about when we were talking about like the rod setup and like the line and stuff, it's probably more important that you just have something in front of them, because steelhead are biters. Steelhead are so stupid that they actually eat a bead, like a stupid little bead drifting down the river, right? That's why I say they eat air.
I don't know. For me, I've done a lot of back trolling out of the boat. I've done a lot of plunking on the bank, and I actually inject my sand shrimp. That's a little something that a lot of guys don't do.
Power bait, Justin. Actually, that's not. I think Justin's screwing with me, but that is a thing. A lot of guys will take pink power bait, put them on the hooks.
Before coon shrimp, like power bait was a real
Power
player.
bait was like getting them. Summers especially.
It was a low key player,
Mhm.
yeah, in the summer.
Yeah, are the people commenting shrimp? Are they talking coon shrimp?
You can't. Oh, and that's
Yeah, it's
hey,
hard to
that is a
distinguish.
really good point. Ammo Cat, like great super chat. Appreciate you throwing that in there. You catch more trash fish plunking eggs. Agreed.
100%.
Agreed.
And also shrimp. Also,
Pike minnows just love those things.
And sand shrimp
also
too.
sand shrimp.
Which
For
is why, like on the Columbia, like you don't generally plunk eggs.
I thought we were talking tributaries.
And you're talking winter steelhead. And guess what?
I
There's
gotta keep
there's
reining
guys
them in, reining
plunking
them in.
winter steelhead on the Columbia, brah. Right now.
on the
But
the
point.
smaller rivers, the
Bag on your boat.
crap fish eat shrimp too, sand shrimp too.
In the comments.
oh, wait.
Dead or alive sand shrimp, always the freshest alive
Yeah.
sand shrimp you can get your hands on, you guys.
For some reason, the peamouth and squawfish don't eat
The coon shrimp.
coon shrimp as much.
Like they do as the sand, they'll destroy sand shrimp. So that's maybe
Destroy
so.
eggs.
Okay, I mean,
Hey, I see a
Yeah.
good comment. A naked spinning glow will work if.
yeah,
Whoa. If you don't have bait or.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
My grandpa, all he used to plunk is big,
Same.
huge spinning glows.
that's
Naked.
That's how I
Back
grew
in
up.
my early spring Chinook days when they opened the Columbia again in 2000. Oh, you don't even have one. We would run, the chrome spinning glows with the red tops.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Chromer chartreuse.
Red Bull.
And we would and just sit there and we would run like some with green tops, some with red tops.
Yeah, they had a green and a red.
No, and we'd put like some shrimp oil on the outsides of them, but no bait. And I killed more springers back then than I think I ever have.
That's
Like-
because those ones are UV.
Clint, shut your.
They are those ones that are chrome like that with the color.
They
top
are
UV. They're the UV ones.
Dipping them in tuna fish works pretty
We were not. I wasn't on the tuna game back then. That was 23 years ago.
Can't believe I don't.
There's
have
been
it.
guys,
I fished those guys.
a lot of the tribal guys, they've been running the tuna forever, and they're very effective. Yeah, they have more rods in the water, but
They know how to fish.
they know how to
They
fish.
know how to
They know how to
fish.
plunk.
If they're throwing tuna, you might want to try it too.
Yeah.
Let's rig one of these.
Let's rig one. Boom, side cam. Let's go. Let's get this done so we can elaborate on our cool drawing.
I'm gonna grab a bigger one because that's what we're doing. I got big hooks.
So try to keep your hands right in front of the A and M. Boom.
All
All
right.
right. Big hooks.
Oh no.
Inside joke. Okay, let's go.
So you have the head and the
So you're using the front hook, and
carapace here.
you're gonna try to put it where?
There's a couple lines here right above the head that goes into the meat. I usually get just above that first line. Okay, and you're gonna right outside the hard part on the first line. I'm gonna go down towards the whiskers. And I'm going to bury that pretty good until I'm about halfway down there. And this is where you got to be careful because the head can be firm and you don't want to crack it. So after you get it through there, you want to slide slide that hook down until that shank is as buried as you can get it with it still being.
Go sideways a little bit so people
Sideways.
and roll it up and put it behind your glove so people. Yeah. Oh, that looks freaking awesome. There it is.
You want to bury that shank until the hook is straight. And this is kind of a delicate process here. This is where you can mess it up. And now we have an egg loop. We have an egg loop on here, so I'm going to push the line through a little bit. You're probably not going to be able to see this part. I'm just pushing the egg loop out until I can have enough extra here to go around the tail.
Smart people use 2 hooks. Where you can use 2 hooks and where you're not running multiple setups, yes, they may choose to use 2 hooks.
And there is
Maybe.
there is 2 hooks.
See, I'm just that's not the only comment about the 2 hook thing, but just let this marinate a minute, guys. We'll get there.
I don't know.
You got to save that comment right there from Jared. About talking about the UV spinning glows.
Yeah, Clint.
Thanks, Clint.
All the ones I buy.
You're wrong. Chrome spinning glows are not all UV. There are only a few that have actual UV on them, and they're designated in the catalog. The chrome redhead, chrome greenhead, chrome are not UV.
Boom.
Clint was wrong.
Okay,
I mean,
I have
Clint
this.
was wrong.
That's straight
But you
from
know
the
what?
source.
But you know what? That is straight from like basically the guy
Yakima
that makes
bait.
every spinning
Yeah.
glow by hand, whittles them
Yep.
out of foam.
Here's the important parts. I have the egg loop around the tail. I have the shrimp is perfectly in line. Are you 12, Clint? Perfectly in line with the shank of the hook. So that shrimp's gonna swim straight. Okay? If it's all crazy sideways right here, this is the only important thing. And then also the trailer hook. Try to get
guys,
it in.
You just let it hang like that?
Yep.
Now, another thing, guys, pretend if you are only using a single hook setup, that trailer hook just does, it's not even there. You can literally take a pair of scissors and cut it off.
I don't know why we're pretending that.
But there's places that if you want to run multiple rigs, which we're going to talk about, and places that are single hook only, like you're not even able to do that. So
There's a great small rubber band or stretchy string, you guys. One thing, kind of pull. A lot of times,
dang it, Parker, I don't have it.
that
you know
tail,
what?
I like to stretchy string it, or can you see that? Where that shrimp is sitting just like that, so you can kind of around the head and around the tail, and it'll keep that shrimp together better so your head's not tearing off. Once that head tears off, I just don't feel like it's fishing as good. So that's one little tip from the pros.
Anything else? Nope.
I'm going back to my side of the table. Wait, I said bands, rubber bands, or stretchy string.
In the situation that we're talking about, plunking steelhead, if you're having to heave this thing 100 yards, that's different. But if you're plunking 50 feet and in, which is where most steelhead are on our tributaries, then you're not going to have any issue with the head.
NW.
And this is the rig. If you're having to throw it a long ways and putting a lot of stress on it, then doing stretchy string or rubber bands is not a terrible idea.
Fishing in a river where only single hook and no bait is allowed, what do you rig?
I'm going to stop real fast because the definition of bait changes through states. And I'm going to stop you because, like, Oregon, like, bait is not considered, like, scent or vice versa. I don't even know what it is. I just know that Oregon and Washington vary greatly on what they consider scent and bait. So you have to understand, like, we've gotten into,
Well, I know
like,
Washington, if it's a plastic that's infused, that's
right,
scented.
and some areas in Oregon, like a plastic worm that's not scented is still considered bait, but you can literally take a piece of yarn, dip it in egg goo, and that would not be considered bait.
You have to check your regulations.
You have to understand your
Yeah.
regulations. So
Yeah.
it's something we've ran into over the 6 years of doing this, that there is just very varying degrees of
Yes.
what is considered bait and scent. So the question is, whatever that was, what do you do if basically you have a no bait? Well, if it's no actual bait, you could put yard on there. Pink worm.
I like
if it's legal, like,
hey,
you got to kind of
pink hoochies. I love pink hoochies behind a
hoochies.
spinning glow.
Brilliant.
They smash.
And just to just a spin glow with a bead behind it and a single hook is what a lot of people grew up on around here.
Now I've tried spinning glows with the soft bead, and I would say I've had better luck with the worm or the hoochie over the soft bead. I've tried to put like 16 millimeter beads behind my spinning glow, and it seems like I have better success with the hoochie.
I have never done a hoochie behind a spin glow.
Most people have never put a soft bead behind a spinning glow.
Nope.
And how I rig it is with these stops here, with a B&R stop, and I slide it down and it sits above the hook, and I can also adjust the distance. That's something new I just started in the last couple of years, and it works, but like I said, I feel like the worm or the hoochie will outfish it. Just a longer profile or something,
Especially if the water's dirtier. I mean, anything, just flipping around down there, current's fast, moving it, like there's the action there.
There's a lot of action on a pink worm if you just rig it through the top hook and have,
Yeah, now Corey, that's great. That's exactly what I was kind of trying to allude to. Like, how about tying a piece of yarn in the egg loop on the hook and put scent on it and have a spin and glow above the hook? Absolutely, you can, as long as scent. If you're doing that in a no bait area where scent is allowed, you probably could do that. But that is really all depending on where you're fishing. If you're trying to get around some no bait or scent regulations. Like, it's very different for areas, very different for tributaries. Yeah.
All right. Let's let Blair show how the...
Do you want to...
Yeah. Show him the three-way method first.
Three-way, huh?
Yes.
Method?
Yes, sir.
I want to stop. Is that a coon shrimp method?
I don't.
You can run a three-way coon shrimp.
I just use.
Oh no! We'll talk about. There's one other way I want to show people rigging coon shrimp, because especially like when the bite's on and you're not casting far, if you're like running lines out, that a lot of people don't do, and this will really simplify life, and it actually works really good. You can go side cam for me, bro.
I'm trying.
Let's zoom it in there, bud. You can literally take a coon shrimp like this, hold the profile like this, take this hook, go right through the meat of the tail,
the knuckle,
and just let it hang.
Yep.
And that right there, when the sockeye bites on the Columbia and you're rigging fast, even though there's a little kind of weird gap there, now there'll be less of a gap there because you'll have smaller hooks. Generally on maybe a little smaller hooks.
Yeah, this is just for demonstration.
But one thing I'm going to say about that is it's going to helicopter on you. Compared to the other way where that shrimp's kind of laying straight. So sometimes the fish, I notice with steelhead, they like it other ways.
If they're on the bite and things are happening fast and you're flipping baits out and you're working gear quick,
just play around.
This just pinning that hook.
Addicted OnlyFans, huh?
Right there. Anyway, something I want to throw out there if you're having trouble. Now, this way is not going to be as durable like casting far. Oh, yeah, you guys can see it really well. Like casting far, do anything like that? I want to know who's trolling me, who made a profile as a Cameron. Because that's not me.
You've been catfished?
I've been catfished. Is that catfishing? I don't think that's catfishing.
No.
Not yet. I don't even know. Not yet.
We're not cool anymore, Ryan. Like, we can't even try. We're old. Yeah.
Super chat.
$5 super chat. Can you describe plunking from the boat with multiple rods? Where are you casting? How long are your casts, etc.? Amilcat has a great question. Let us get there because there's a little bit different strategy with the boat. But for the most part, you are going to use the same setup. Maybe not a triangle weight. Maybe you want to use a round ball. The same dropper length, something that's 6 inches, maybe to 12 inches, but a lot of times more like 6 to 8, 3-foot leader, and you're just running them straight behind the boat in the current. But again,
covering ground. Trying to get your spread.
Don't do that. Yeah, covering ground, trying to get your spread, trying to get in front of fish. And if you're a savvy boat angler, as far as like where you're casting. We're trying to cast them in front of the fish. Yeah, that's a dumbass remark that I just made. But use your side scan. fish straight behind your boat. You're not getting bit straight behind your boat. Throw a rod to the left. Throw a rod to the right. Move them around.
Remember, find that spot.
Find
that those
I-5.
fish
You gotta hit
have to
I-5.
travel around.
You gotta hit I-5.
Get in the freeway.
You got to hit I-5. You got to hit I-5.
And I will still use.
I like it.
I will still use pyramid leads out of my boat if I'm trying to get.
Stick them more to the sides.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of bottom you have.
If there was river names on Addicted OnlyFans, I might sub. Is that where we just break it right there? That's so funny because over the last 10 years. Anyway. Okay, moving on. So you guys get the idea. Any questions on coon shrimp? Anything on rigging? We kind of did the quick and dirty. You guys, we do have tons.
There's a good question. Have you ever slung a triple from the bank, or is that a boat or kayak thing? You can but
do it. We'll draw it out a little bit, and it's really about your cast.
You know what? I have another saying for that. Sometimes less is more, because when guys are throwing those triple setups, they're just tangling them a lot of the time.
We'll talk about that.
The guy has a hard time presenting that from the bank without running it out.
Someone asked you put a bobber stop on top of your spin glow.
Not on the top, but I've put them below with a bead on it, so you can adjust the distance between your hooks, your bait, and notice that sometimes you're getting better hookup rates.
It takes away the purpose of all those beads. You can do it below and then use less beads.
Yeah, I'll use one bead.
Slide your spin glow up a little bit if you want to drop your shrimp back.
But bobber stops or these bead stops or whatever, they're kind of newer into the game.
Sand shrimp head downriver as well. The answer would be yes. And you know what, guys? Total airball. I wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure for absolute positive that I had some millennial coon shrimp in here, because honestly, guys, a lot of guys fished a lot of coon shrimp last year, but I know these two fools sitting here next to me did absolute work on them.
Yep.
Our good buddy Bill.
I think if you get 600 viewers, Cameron should drink the millennial juice.
How many viewers do we have? How many viewers do we have? We have over 500, so that's a
what I
gamble
wanna
I'm
see.
not taking.
512. We get to
Let's
600.
say over
Cameron's gonna
700,
drink.
I'll take a shot. Over
Oh.
700. We're not getting over
Share.
I bet Marlon right now is like feverishly
Man,
going.
I want to see this.
This
Come on,
is
you
not
guys.
happening.
700.
Everybody
Cameron.
share it.
Over
You heard it.
1,000.
No,
No, you said
700.
700.
We all
700
heard it.
viewers. Come on.
Share it out there. That's easy.
I'll end this live feed before it even happens. So I'll be like, we're done. Good night, everybody.
Taking the shot.
$6.99. We're out.
You already said it, dude.
I did, but guess what? I can also end this. I can end this right now.
Producing.
I will just grab that plug. It'll end. Trust me.
Can you call
I will
Marlon?
end this somehow.
Call Marlon.
some way.
Hey, we will hold him
We
down.
want to hold him
Hey,
to
Jared
this.
said something. Please go up and question that
He's
instead of getting off your damn
backtracking.
phone.
I know.
quick.
I'm trying to share.
Everybody share.
Oh, everyone wants to see Cameron die. Cool.
I don't think we'll die, but
Shut up.
a little regurgitation maybe.
Anyways, guys, millennial coon shrimp. If you're looking for a good coon shrimp to start, they're durable. They're the right size. Steelhead, and guess what? Spring Chinook coming up. Absolutely love them.
All Chinook.
I ran them absolute piss out of them last year for springers. There was not a fish caught on my boat that wasn't caught on Bill's millennial coon shrimp. They work great, guys.
I think I'm probably the only guy. That's all I ran out of my boat for summers. Summer Chinook.
Up in
Lower Columbia.
Lower Columbia, not up.
Everyone I know was running quick fish and plugs and this and that, and I was running 6 rods out of my boat.
Blair and I were doing a little trolling.
6 rods with spinning glows and millennials.
shotguns. Yeah.
No plug. Lead.
We
Where I was
ran-
Well,
fishing.
we ran a lot of shotguns because we like catching more.
Yeah, I was only getting 30 bites a day.
Yeah, we were doing 32.
Yeah.
35.
Come on, we need
Blair,
700
Blair was doing
viewers.
35.
700 viewers. It
All
might
right.
quiet him down for
I'm sharing.
It might quiet him down for a second.
I bet Clint's actually doing what a producer should do right now. Okay, Jared said, when running plunking rods out of the boat, I will fish at least 1 or 2 spinning glows upside down to create a different look. More vibration and movement. Sometimes it's the ticket. You guys, the guy only whittles every spinning glow by hand
Handcrafted.
from Yakima Bait. Jared Higginbotham. This is like Big Jared. Like, you guys know him. Like, if he's saying something, pay attention to it, because that's something that I don't do. I don't. I haven't ran them, and I fish a ton of spinning glows. Obviously, the guys in the lower Columbia are going to get a sockeye season this year.
Yep.
Like summer Chinook season is going to be great. Springers is going to be off the hook. Like it's going to be a good year. And if we get a little high water in the mix, where guys are going to be pushed up on the shore, like it's going to get dirty with the spinning glows.
You
And
guys
there's going to be a
ever-
lot of guys fishing spinning glows.
Have you guys
Take
ever
some
cut
advice
a
from
wing
Jared.
off of it to make it
Yes.
wobble?
And I've drilled like the sideways holes and made them do all sorts
That's how
of stuff.
That's how I.
But
picked
seriously,
mine
like,
out,
how
looking at the
fast-
holes.
Oh yeah.
But seriously, how fast is it to just put one on upside down and try it?
Oh yeah.
No,
I
good
know.
advice.
I've
Thank
seen,
you, Jared.
I've seen guys do that.
Like I said, if Jared says it, take it to heart. All right, new comments. We're going to talk about bag lip in a second, Matthew. Millennial. Take a shot every time Cam crafts. You wouldn't be watching this live feed right now, bud.
Hey, Jake.
He'd
Jake
be
Cotton. The
good.
10% tips are on fire tonight. We're definitely
Giving some of the,
giving some stuff out there for sure. But plunking, I don't feel like it's some of the secrets that we hold back sometimes. I want to see guys catch fish when they're out there plunking and putting the time in on the bank.
I think we're going to have a very productive year. I think we're going to have like a lot of opportunity this year. I think they missed their mark on winter steelhead again.
there's going to be
There's some
I
fish
think
around.
there's,
big time.
yeah,
Big fish around.
from what I hear.
It's looking good. So, and like I said, we get a little high water mixed in, a little high Columbia in May and June. Woo!
I hope to be steelhead fishing in 2 days. Sturgeons.
I might need 2 days off, bro.
God, you're getting soft in your old age. What are you 42 now?
Oh, it's getting here quick. All right. How long will shrimp last in the bait fridge? A long time. The millennials will last a long time. Your own cured coon shrimp, don't know.
These will last
Months,
years.
I mean,
years.
they are fixed. The pH levels won't change. They won't rot.
I think they actually get a little better over time.
Yeah. The more the
Absolutely.
cure and the more the scent permeates. The meat
You
stuff.
probably have a bunch. I have probably 20 jars in my fridge, and I'm not going to be shy to fish them.
Yeah.
Those are going to be my
You.
go-to right out of the gate.
Right. When there's a few of them around, things
Yeah.
are a little tough. You want to make sure they're gonna bite. Yeah. you
Yep.
got it.
I have a bunch in mine. You just
Yeah.
have to make sure that there's salt in the bottom of your jars.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
good thing. You can see these guys, they do a good job of putting a lot of salt in the bottom and keeps the shrimp good.
And if you have to go,
Thank you for the super chat, Daniel. Sometimes when they put a logo on there, it's a face screaming in fear. It just says it's face. He didn't type that out. It's the Danielle. What?
it's a girl.
Oh, Danielle. Sorry, I said Daniel. Sorry. Thank you, Danielle, for the super chat. Yes, scary times up in here. Still have over 525 of you guys watching
What's
right
next?
now. We need to elaborate now a little bit because I see some guys talking about plugs. Real fast, a couple little cool things. I kind of wanted to show real quick because I saw this product last year. I'm not endorsed or sponsored by it, but I thought it was pretty cool, especially for you guys plunking. Go to Sidecam for me real quick. A couple things I brought from them. I use them out of the boat, use them off the bank. And now P-Line actually has a little like 3-way swivel that has a bead chain incorporated into one of the things for the guys casting and the guys fishing off the boat. Kind of a nice little, quick little setup, quick tip for that.
So that one.
I've wasted $125 on
Yeah, I
millennials
like
and
it.
didn't catch a fish on one shrimp, Nate's baits.
I'm guessing he's not an I-5.
Yeah, I guess it's not an I-5 because
I can't keep him off of him.
I was gonna say, I'm like, because every fish you caught at Drano, every fish I caught at Wind last year, and now everything in between. Yeah, well, teach their own, buddy.
They've worked everywhere for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, well,
Winters,
Yeah.
summers.
yeah. Anyways, cool little product.
Change
P-Line
spots.
makes them. Little 3-way swivel with a bead chain incorporated because you do want to sometimes have a little bit of swivel action on those spinning gliders because they will spin up your gear as well as the coon shrimp spinning in the water could spin up.
I
your
like
gear.
it. I haven't seen him. I love it.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Great,
little
great
freaking
idea.
deal? And they make a couple sizes too. Here's a
Yeah.
big size.
Great idea.
And
Thought it was
those
deep.
and those are really handy when you're throwing multiple.
Who makes these?
P-Line.
P-Line?
So I got them at Bob's Sporting Goods. Shocker.
Nice.
when you're throwing multiple.
Super chat, Cam do a backflip. Okay, just because you super chat doesn't mean we're going to let you super chat. Because
Drink
that
the
ain't happening.
juice.
How many viewers do we have? Oh, only
Oh,
500.
man.
Oh, I guess I'm not taking a shot of millennial goodness tonight.
There's still time.
There's still time, Clint says. No, there's not.
Jared!
Yeah, Jared shares. It's like 1,000 viewers. Like, ooh, we're out of here. Okay. All right. Are those new this year? CJ, I don't know. I bought them last summer.
I use a dual snap, a bead, and then I tie to a 6 bead chain.
Okay.
So you don't have to have a 3-way. You can also just do it with whatever's in your tackle box.
That's a sketch time.
Why are you so immature, Clint? We're going to have a discussion right now. I can't even do it. I can't even do it.
But I said 3-way out loud.
He said 3-way out loud. It just 3-way swivel, and Clint's laughing. I don't know why.
Here's a good question right there. I got more line twists and tangles trying to use a plunking spreader than ever before. Something I did wrong. A plunking spreader, I think he's talking about with the wire and stuff.
Yeah,
And
this is a spreader, and
Which should give you less tangles.
it should, but the reality is, like, I think,
but I've seen him twist a lot too.
It's something to do with how long his leaders are and how he's throwing it.
how he's throwing it.
Yeah.
It is your cast.
Yeah.
It is 100% your cast, because you can't put those spreaders on and just overhand it straight like this and fire that and whip that rod. Now, sometimes you can't take a swing cast and try to like lay the gear out there. But if you try, and if you think by just putting those spreader bars on and just firing and not paying attention to how you're casting your single or double setup, that spreader bar will do you no good. So what I would do is, just so you get some more fishing time, take my... shut up, Marlon.
Shut up, Gaffney.
What did Gaffney say?
Why does Blair look so
He's
angry?
always angry. He's an angry little elf, man.
Standing
Come on.
next, it makes me look all
Will,
buffed
let me
out,
say
dude.
what
I
I'm saying.
like it.
Let me say what I say.
Buffed
Do
out,
yourself,
you look like a little runt.
do yourself a favor and go cast somewhere other than when you're fishing. Because one thing about plunking is when you cast out, you put it in the reel holder, you got to leave it alone.
Yeah, but
And you want to make sure that's fishing good. So you really need to get a swing cast down to where you're laying the gear out and just practicing somewhere else in the
one thing
soccer field is going to help you.
I cast it past and then reel it back because it's pulling my gear
slow it
straight.
down a little bit.
Yeah, slow it down.
Yeah.
When my gear hits the bottom, I'm going to reel it back to the slot I want to fish.
I see guys all the time, though, plunking, and we're sitting in our boats watching it happen.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at an angle to where they're casting like this in front of us or behind or whatever, where we're facing how they're casting. So they don't see it, but we do. Guys will put those spreader bars on and just do this overhand ripper. But I think since it like throws the weight and all the line follows, it just spins up the gear. It doesn't matter if you put spreaders on. The guys that go from the side and kind of like lay it out.
Yeah, it's a
where
lob.
It's a
lob
side. The
cast.
leaders are coming off the side. And like I said, what I would do is, so you're not wasting a lot of time plunking with like gear that's fouled in the water, like go out and practice that, because it is your cast.
But you need to practice it at the beach somewhere, throwing into the water.
But for that guy,
Once it hits the water, how it hits the water and falls is going to be like how it hits the water. But you watch those guys like rip it out, and that stuff just and it's like it ain't even. You're like, well, that guy's don't have to worry about that, baby.
But also, if you have your setup correct, you can throw it. You have a lot more room for error if this is a 2-foot leader and you have 3 feet here, right?
We're gonna show the
3
stag
feet
right now.
and 2.5 feet.
Right. So we're gonna show that right now.
That's
so
huge.
the guys. So we're gonna talk multiple rigs.
one more thing on that.
Okay.
Have any of you guys ever used a spreader bar for plunking? I haven't personally. I don't see a lot of guys using it. So for that guy that had that comment, I would go away from it and go to a straight 3-way swivel and get rid of the wire spreader. Have you ever used one?
I've put one on my top spin globe before, and I've seen guys do well with them, but I don't. Usually, if I'm using 3 spin gloves,
no, we're talking the metal spreader bars. Just have you ever used one of those for plunking?
No.
So I would go away from those, go to a 3-way swivel.
But I see guys that are very good with them too. Haven't you, Cam? Seen
I
guys?
have, but I think it has more to do with your cast than using a spreader bar. Keeping your stuff
I think it's a
entangled.
bunch more stuff than you need. I think you don't need that, and it's just more junk in the water, more drag for sure with the wire.
Says Clint. Oh, damn it.
The only thing that it helps with is when you're setting up for your cast, it gets your spin glow leader away from your main leader, right? Like, that's the only, it helps you in your setup getting ready to throw. Instead of like all your leaders laying on your main line, they're at least not touching it.
They're starting good.
Off of it, yes.
Okay.
Keep it simple. I agree. I've never thrown 3 spinning glows or anything. I've ran 2 setups. I'll run a spinning glow on the bottom and slide a plug down to another 3-way above that with a bead and just slide it down my line.
Those guys that throw 3 spin glows, they like using those spreader bars.
Me, I don't like having the 3 because you got to use single hooks because a lot of places that we fish are 3 hooks only.
Yeah.
So if you're running 3 setups, you got single hooks. I'd rather have 2 hooks on my spinning glow and 1 on my plug and call it a day. Would you use a scent chamber on your line? I think scent always helps plunking, either scent chamber or
Applicable.
something.
All right, go to the old
It's not gonna hurt it.
masterpiece here. All right, look at that. Shut your mouth. That is beautiful.
How many 20 are those 20?
That's a school of sockeye.
Oh.
Can't you tell? It
In
says
the
school of
tributary.
sockeye.
20-pounder on
Yes,
the
we're
bottom.
talking winter steelhead, but anyways,
Winter sockeye.
winter sockeye.
Don't bonk them if you
All
ever
right.
do catch one.
So, a couple key things. So I think one of you two, I can't remember, was talking about the leader length, how important the leader lengths are to these like spreader lengths
Yeah, me.
when you're casting, and how if you run, basically with the principle of this, guys, is this distance on your leaders in this area here cannot be longer than this area here between your 2 3-ways when you're casting your double setups. And the reason why is because when these hang down, right, when these swing down on your cast, if that's longer and catches that other leader like in the air, it's never going to work for you.
Right.
That's the most important
That's
thing.
the most important
Yeah.
thing. So
No question.
If you're going to run doubles and you're going to cast them or flip them, you have to make sure that this distance on your leader is considerably shorter than your distance between the 2 3-way swivels.
Wally.
No, I'm not. I gotta figure out who this guy is. Yeah, this is a school of. Anyways, and there are times like if you have like a steeper bank, and that's what we need to finish up this conversation. I was like, exactly where to plunk.
Matt Hanley, how heavy is the weights generally on tributaries? I
Enough
think
to
Blair
keep it
said
on the
earlier, anywhere from 4 to 8 ounces, I would say, is probably most of the time.
If you cast out, you got to cast out, and you got to make those weights stick.
Yep.
So, and you want them to stick pretty fast, because if you cast out and it just rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls, eventually it probably finds something. And sometimes you want it to hang up, but a lot of times if it rolls too far, you're going to hang up on something you don't want to hang up on.
And generally your steel, if you're throwing 12 ounces to hold 50 feet off the bank, your steelhead are running up the soft edge where 4 ounces would hold.
Yep.
Just in general, the moving steelhead are going to take the path of least resistance, which is where we're plunking our gear.
I feel like you want to run heavy enough lead that you can put your gear where you want to and not have it rolling and sliding and you're just randomly out there fishing.
Yeah.
Claw weights? Are you guys
Keep
claw
it
weight
in
guys?
the freeway.
You can use claw weights.
Keep it in the freeway. Keep it in I-5.
Keep it in I-5.
And usually when I'm plunking, I like my gear to be at a 45 below me, instead of trying to stick a 6 ounce straight in front of me. It might move a little bit.
So we're gonna talk. Let's talk a little bit about that just real fast, because I do want to show people like how you're kind of like lining up on the bank, and what you're looking for. Let's pretend this is a tributary. This is going to be some epic drawing live. Here's the bank. Sandy bank. Maybe you have a nice little rock feature right here. And some, hold on, where's my blue? Can I show the current?
Cameron loves Clint.
You got a point here? I do. Guard for shut up. Got current sweeping around here, pushing up against the bank here. A little softer water in here.
Show a pole holder. Somewhere you're standing.
Yeah, where are you fishing this? First off, where are you fishing? Are you fishing it?
Your picture is so bad, I don't even know what it's going on.
I'm gonna be
Here's
down.
a rock jetty sticking off the water. Let's say the water's 6 foot deep across.
I'm gonna be down
Which
there.
way's the water going?
I'm gonna be down there.
Water's going that way.
You can tell if the current's
Yeah.
coming off that rock.
This is just a very rough idea, guys.
I'm gonna be down here where the current hits the bank because those fish are all gonna be getting shoved right there.
Yes, that's what.
Up in here, the fish could be here or they could be out here.
So the current's flowing. You have a dead water spot right here behind the rocks, right? The current's flowing this direction, and it's pushing up against the bank down here. Those steelheads swimming upstream, right, in a higher water situation where the water's not real clear, it's flowing fast. Everyone's perspective is fast, but it just gives you an idea, kind of like some starting ideas where you'll plunk. A lot of people sometimes would say, like, oh, I'm going to plunk right here, like right behind the rocks. Right there, but that's not really
I like
what it is
landing the fish in that spot.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pulling them into that dead water.
But when those fish are swimming up the bank, if that current is pushing the bank here and it's off this point here, now, yes, all the fish in this area are going to sweep around this point.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the fish are also, since the current's pushing against the bank here, are going to be swimming along the bank. When they get into this area, they're going to like split and move around. So the two places to plunk in my book, and this is Lower Columbia all the time, would be right here where Blair's saying, where the current is squeezing him up against the bank, or potentially right here around the point where all the fish then have to refunnel around here.
And the only problem, that's exactly right. And the only problem, the reason I would choose the lower spot first is because once you go out to that part, you're going to use heavier lead, you're going to have more hangups, and there's going to be more issues. You're still going to catch fish there, but off the bank, that's a tougher place to catch them. So if I have the option, I'm going to go to the bottom.
So to put it in real perspective, this would be the spot I'd fish out of the boat.
Yeah.
Where you can sit, like, let's say that rock pile. Let's say that rock pile is here. You guys get the idea. Don't do any freaking magic here. And your boat is sitting now up here.
Yep.
Where your lines are now here. And you're walling.
Move it down a little.
Oh. There you go. You guys understand? You guys kind of get what we're throwing at here. Like current's still flowing this way. These are the same spots. But a boat that could sit here and use the width of the boat and could wall this off from any fish swimming.
We call it the wall of death.
Wall of death, baby. Any fish that are swimming off there could be really effective.
Yeah.
But don't overlook where the current is sweeping the bank quite a ways down below those points. But this dead water, a fish can move into it.
That's where
and then go up, down, and kind of slide. He's not going to be forced. That bait's not going to be forced into his face.
That could be a great bobber fishing spot. That might be a place where you throw your bobber in if there's holding fish there. But we're plunking, and we're trying.
Fish are moving.
We're trying to catch.
Water's high. It's been low for weeks. We finally got a big rain. Fish are flying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right though. Absolutely.
You're looking for different.
Chris R., jet diver from the boat.
Sure.
I love him.
Jet diver, mag.
Gives it a little action. I love it.
Lead.
It moves.
Lead.
Shotgun rig.
Shotgun rig.
It's just about being in I-5. That's all it's about. If there's a lot of fish, it doesn't matter what way you like to.
I love the mag lip 3.5 with a spin and glow off of it as my diver.
Unless now we're not hitting 700.
Yep, the wall of death on I-5. Very effective.
I feel like we can go to jail for saying shit like that. All right.
Just Ryan. He's been there before.
On the lower spot, how far off are you casting? It really depends on the depth. Now, that's where you got to go and figure it out. Because, like, let's say this is this is probably a pretty cut bank. Just like I said, all your spots are different, guys. And like, we try to give you like kind of rules of thumbs, guidelines, but you got to go out and you got to learn your spots. You got to learn like looking at the water. You got to learn reading the water, and you got to learn like throwing it. And this is a very effective way to figure out where steelhead are running. So let's say that's a straight cut bank, goes boom right down to 6 feet, like a foot off the bank, and then flattens out to gravel and goes out. So it's like really cut. I'd put it 2 feet off the bank.
Yep.
If that current's a little slower, the bank's a little more swept, the water's a little more clear. The water's real clear. They're not going to sit there where people and predators and stuff can see them like a foot under the water. We all see them do it every now and then, but reality is like they'll probably be off the bank a few feet, be down a little bit.
Man, high water, they're looking for that resting spot. So super high water.
Yeah, they're cruising into this to come in.
They're
here
cruising in,
chill.
and they're gonna go over that rock
Right.
point because the water's so high.
Right up the bank.
Yep.
What I like to do is start close, even in the summertime, with 10 foot of visibility. I like to start close and work my way out.
One of my favorite stories, and this is a place that was really popular back in the day. And I'll say it was summer steelhead, but it was a trib, so just deal with it, Ryan. She's like, winter steelhead.
Mm.
There's a rock point like this, and there was bankies fishing here. Okay, here's a banky. Banky. Because you guys like my stick figures. I'm throwing onto this like shallow bar that the water's running over, and I'm putting my baits up on the bar because I knew those fish were coming around a corner like this, and they were kind of sweeping the bank and going and shallowing the bar. It's a lot easier to catch a steelhead in 3 feet of water than it is in 10 feet of water.
Oh yeah.
Because that when they come up over that rock bar,
They're
'cause the
just
current was
forced.
flowing, they come up over it, baits in their face.
It's all. In
I'm
their
sitting
face.
there in 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 30. I'm talking in the dark, hours. I'm like, I'm getting this spot. Bank guy shows up 9 o'clock, and we've been catching fish. It was good. And I'm throwing. I'm like, the boat's not even here. The boat's like here, and I'm throwing like on the rocks.
Yeah.
Bank guy comes out, goes, I don't know why you boats always fish. You know, it's a boat spot. It's been a boat spot forever. Not to say that the banky don't have the right to fish it. They do. Bank guy comes down, freaking rips his rod over here, casts out, he goes, this is a bank spot, not a boat spot. And I went, oh, cool. Hope you brought popcorn, buddy. So, like, a little while goes by, and I can see these guys standing on bank, and one of the guy pipes up and says, oh, I can see your guys' bait. It's like, okay, well, cool. You can see my bait. Great.
Yep.
Little did he know we'd caught a half a dozen steelhead right there.
Yep.
But I don't give a shit. Oh, excuse me. I don't give a rip. These guys literally watched a steelhead a short time later. They watched it come up, grab the inside rod, grabbed it, fought it, landed it, put it on the boat.
Yep.
The guy goes, dude, that was craziest thing I've ever seen. I watched that steelhead come up and eat it.
He started casting shorter, didn't he?
No, he didn't. That's the point. He then, his next cast,
Oh, no.
I was like, I'm like, cool. Fish here all the time, bud. You are more than welcome.
That's
Yeah,
like-
you just gave him
He
the golden
saw-
ticket, huh?
So if you're on the bank, my point is, if you're on the bank, do not think you have to be as far out into the river, especially if it's steelhead, and especially if it's wintertime. They will run the bank.
Oh, yeah.
In our steelhead.
1 foot off the bank.
That's my point. This guy then rips a cast.
because he caught one there one time.
He probably caught one there one time.
Yeah.
But either way, you guys get my idea. They will run the bank.
And wouldn't you say that,
Shut up, Todd. Jeez. Don't
What-
post comments like that.
wouldn't you say that
If they say legend, don't post it.
that steelhead
You
are
get the idea.
They
run like race
are,
cars.
are bank run.
They run like race cars, right? They're looking for that inside track. They're looking for that inside currency.
That's
That's what they're doing.
yeah.
And the guy still casted 80 feet out into the river.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink,
He
right?
saw the fish eat my bait and then still cast it out far again.
I don't know how many times we've done that.
So just because you're on the
We
bank,
can see our spingle on bait.
this
Oh, yeah.
had to do with this question
Just
where it's like, how far off the
hammer.
bank should be like, don't be afraid to fish close. Like, and when we're in the rafts, shit, half the time we're trying to cast ours.
yeah.
Start
It's like, go where they're at. Just-
start close and work your way out. And usually you find out pretty quick. Like if you know there's fish coming through that area and you start close and work your way out, you will find out.
You find out pretty quick.
Yes.
Anyways, I laugh at that story because that was like 15 years, a long time ago. All right. Long time ago. All right, guys. So
Had some sturgeon stories, right?
we do have a sturgeon.
No, we got to talk about plunking plugs. We
Oh my
we haven't
gosh.
talked about it.
How time is it? It's 8:30 already.
Yeah.
We've run long. We've had over 500. How many? Do we have 700 yet? Oh, I'm not taking a shot.
You weren't going to
Okay.
anyway.
If we would have got 700, I would have had to, because none of these guys out here would have ever let me live this down for the next year. They've been commenting on every. I mean, no, you have to.
Well, let's just say at least simply these 3.5 mag lips. I like wrapping them. I'll wrap them with sand shrimp or coon shrimp. Very effective. You can plunk this. I don't like to plunk or out of the boat run plugs if there's a lot of debris in the water, because it's constantly catching on the bill and popping your gear out. So I think plugs are more effective plunking in clearer water. The fish come out of left field with the rattle and everything, and they see that motion, and they will come smash these in clearer water. Dirty water, I'm going to go with the spin and glow and bait every time if it's legal and on the system.
Yep.
Agreed or disagree?
Plugs in clear water is something a lot of people fret from, but man, like
I've seen winter steelhead come up like 20, 30 yards and just freight train them.
I like to run. I choose to run one or the other. Like as far as this is my one rod and this is my other rod. If I'm gonna fish a plug, I might just do it on this pole specifically, and then on this pole I'm running bait. Instead of choosing to try to do it all with one rod, I find that all of a sudden they stop biting the spin.
But you're talking out of the boat.
No, I'm talking off the bank. Like on some rivers, you get 2 poles, or you go with the buddy. If I'm gonna run a plug, then he's gonna run bait or whatever. But sometimes it seems like if I slide a plug down, all of a sudden, I don't know why, all of a sudden my shrimp stops getting bit. You know,
Maybe they just wanted to plug more. That
Loud and proud.
Loud and proud.
Loud and proud.
Just like Ryan.
or the fish just go to the plug.
I thought I was loud and proud until I hang out with you, huh?
Gee, I can't even yell right now.
He lost his voice
Couple
being
things
so
about
loud.
the plugs, guys. If you're gonna fish a plug on a dropper, fish a little longer dropper. Fish something 12 to 18 inches, and then maybe 2 to 3 feet. This guy's gonna dive even on that.
I'm 2 and 4.
2 and 4.
2 and 4.
Even though you are going to, anchor on the bottom with your triangle lead, these do dive still.
Well, you just
So you want to kind of keep them. You have to think of putting this.
What about plunking a wiggler? Definitely, it doesn't have to be a
Same
mag
thing.
lip. Wigglers work, but
Absolutely.
I feel like the
We have-
mag lip is the best swimming
Old
steelhead
hot-
plug
old
out there.
Hot shots are money.
we have to.
Yeah, but you have to tune them. They don't run as good. I feel like the mag lip, if you give me all the tadpoles were excellent back in the day, but the mag lip is a very, very effective, and I feel like everyone I pull out of the pack catches fish.
If you use I agree. If you use a stopper, you don't even need a dropper. It just depends on how
Yeah,
you
we're
rig
gonna.
it.
I think we're gonna save that one.
Okay.
I think we're gonna save that one. But you can plunk. But if you guys do actually want to see a very in-depth video on plunking
I was gonna say.
lures, I got one. I made it myself, and it's on our Addicted Fishing.
Yeah, you guys
YouTube
have a few
channel.
of them.
And then you can actually see like the line presentation. You can see the rod wiggling. You can see me slide it down.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good tutorial. We need to get back. How many of you guys think we need to get back to doing more tutorials? Just throw it out there. Clint doesn't want to do it.
I want to go boat.
Clint needs to
Hey.
go learn, but
I want to go boat plunking next week. You know where I want to go.
yeah. Yes, we should. We should.
We should. No one does.
All right,
it.
guys.
No one does it there.
Couple quick things, and then we are gonna go. I think we're gonna save sturgeon stories for next week.
Okay.
Want to do that? It's 8:30. How many people do we have watching still?
700.
Yeah, over 450. If you guys,
I think we should talk sturgeon stories for a minute. I mean, they're fresh right now.
They're fresh right now.
Then we'll be here at 9:30.
Okay, let's do this. We already asked how many people are coming to the Portland and Puyallup shows. How many people know that we're doing a live Giganto Bash? I don't even know what the hell to call it. Big Bash.
Mega bash.
Mega Bash.
Mega bash.
Mega Live, Mega Bash. At the Puyallup Sportsman Show and the Portland Sportsman Show. The Puyallup Show, I believe, is on the Saturday of February 5th or 2nd. I don't know. It's on the Saturday of the Puyallup show. I should pull my calendar out. You don't have a graphic for it yet? Graphic, Clint. You guys, tickets are available online at addicted.fishing. We've got VIP, we've got kids tickets and adult. You do have to buy a ticket into the Sportsman Show and then a ticket to the bash. If you guys, maybe that's what we'll do. How many of you guys out there have, here's a question for you to comment for our last giveaway. How many of you guys have actually been to a bash? Yes or no? Would like to go? Yes, I have. I did, and it sucked. I don't want to listen to Cameron anymore. Why am I here? Whatever you want to say, comment below. Comment below, because it'll actually enter you to win something. A Steelhead pack. Random addicted pack from Mike Kaplan. There you go. Don't shoot the messenger. Mike's going to do it, and hopefully it's good for you. With that said, Portland show, it'll be on the Thursday night. I do know that. Oh, there they are. There's my producer. Yes, I got one. Saturday night, February 4th at the Puyallup Sportsman Show. And Thursday night, February 16th at the Portland Sportsman Show. And I keep saying Puyallup, but it's actually the Washington Sportsman Show. So check those out, guys. They're a lot of fun. Went to the one at Sportco. No would like to go. King's 3 Bash last year was awesome. Come to Idaho and Eastern Washington. We do need to do that. Need to go. Going soon. Nope or nope. Would like to go one. Not yet. Nah. Oh, all right. Well, these people suck. Guided plunking trip. Kind of.
I'll be doing some in a couple weeks.
Blair specializes in them.
Yeah.
He was doing them last year. It'd be from the boat, but a lot of the setups would be the same. Blair's going to do some plunking stuff.
I'm going to do some.
You're going to do some. You're not going down to where he's plunking.
Keep him out of there.
I'm going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to a place that no one does it.
Run to the spot I suggested.
No, the spot I suggested. You don't even have a small sled. You know where I want to do it. I want to cook elk burgers and boat plunk on a system that nobody does.
A small sled to do that at all.
You do.
And I suggested it to you, bro. Anyways, yeah, we should go do that. I want some of those elk burgers. Those are good elk burgers.
I seen another comment about as someone asked about Ryan and Blair doing tutorials on it. Well, let's see if Cam will film it and let us talk.
I don't film nothing, you guys.
Let's see if he'll let us talk and film it.
I will let you.
I will do it for sure.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We gotta get you.
Let's go.
Coordinate that with Marlon. We should do it. We absolutely need to get you guys in. Blair's going to do some plunking trip. I know you're going to do some plunking, scouting, and a lot of bobber dogging very soon. So the guys that want to do some bobber dogging, I kind of stick to the small rafting stuff. And now that sturgeon's over, for me, and probably for you too and you, steelhead season begins tonight at midnight.
Yep. I can't wait.
Game on. Now it's time to wreck some steelhead. So all three of us are going to be doing probably some little different things over the next couple months. Hit us up. Riverside Guide Service. BGS guy.
You can't say it with a straight face.
BGS Northwest, Blair Johnson, Big Johnson.
Are you going to show the elk pics?
No, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Cam, are you ready for springers? Ooh.
You got it.
Hey, I got $100 if I go one day in February from Nick. So yeah, I'm ready. February 1st, I might try. All right, we got some fun stuff here.
There's Cameron. Look at carting her out. I had to take a picture. He was actually sweating, you guys. I've never seen him sweat.
So
I just made him drag it until he sweat.
All right, elk story, cool. I got a better story. Is that it? Is that all you wanted to do?
Does that thing have nuts?
Where's the other one?
No, it does not have no nuts. This is what we did yesterday, and that's why we're so tired. This was our excuse for how tired
we steelhead today. Or we sturgeon fished.
We sturgeon
drove
fished,
all the way up.
Drove 3.5 hours.
Killed an elk.
Came back.
Packed it out.
So this is why we're total S shows tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Huh?
Repeat it?
Huh?
Just kidding. I got a cooler story. Sturgeon fishing. I got to give a huge shout out to Officer Nelson of WDFW.
What about me?
And Blair.
Thank you.
Funny story. And Blair. Because Blair was integral in this. So, sturgeon season just wrapped up. We catch a big fish last Saturday. And it is like, I'm measuring this thing on the tape, 53.5 inches. What? Yeah, 53.5 inches. It's right there every damn time we go to kill this fish. What are we doing right now?
Rocky.
No. So we catch this fish, but I'm afraid to kill this fish because, like, it's a big fish. And so I'm, like, looking around, looking for a sheriff, looking for a WWF officer. No one's around. I'm clear upriver. That's all we're going to leave it. I'm clear upriver from Blair.
Yep.
So Blair calls me, or I call you.
Yep.
And I ask him, he's like 10 miles downstream. I say, hey, man, like, do you see any officers? He's like, no, I haven't seen them all day. Like, dang. He's like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, dude, I got this giant on board. I'm like, I don't want to kill it because, like, you got to bring the fish on board to measure sturgeon. Yeah. It's part of the rule.
You're not supposed to take oversized out of the water.
There's a very specific way that you are required by law to measure them.
Yep.
And I'm doing it. I'm looking at this thing like, damn, it's close.
Most people know that way.
Right. So Clint says, I don't think most people understand or know that way, but you actually do have to bring sturgeon out of the water to measure them.
Yep.
I'm measuring this big, wild son of a bitch. He's fighting everything, and I can't get a good tape on it. And so I'm talking to Blair. Blair's saying, what's going on? Long and short, Blair goes, Cameron, you won't believe this. He's like, I think there's a boat coming right at me. And then he's like, dude, he's like, I think it's the enforcement officers. And
I hadn't seen a boat all day. He
Right.
calls and asks for a sheriff, and all of a sudden there's a sheriff pulling up on him.
So Blair's like, dude, he's like, they're pulling up. I'm going to put them on speaker.
I couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe it. So Blair then goes, hey, man, you know, I go, check me, whatever, but I could hear him on speakerphone talking with the officers. Like, hey, my buddy's got a giant. He's upriver about 10 miles.
Yeah.
But he's like, he wants you to come measure it. He doesn't want to kill it. And then the officer says, well, after I'm checking you, he's like, tell him to keep it alive.
Yeah.
Tell him to keep it alive. We're coming.
Yep.
Because that's how you got to do it. I mean, sturgeon are very, very resilient creatures.
They do well.
And that
They
fish was
do well.
so close on the fence. A
I
lot of
wouldn't chance
times
it.
I would have
It's
just let it
not
go.
worth it.
Yeah. Not
And
worth
honestly,
it.
had the story not progressed, it would have gone back.
Yep.
Sorry, Dave and Joaquin and Ben and Levi and I forget who else today. It would have gone back.
I caught
It's just
one inch over. It was 55 on the dot today.
But that's over. Over is over.
Yeah. Oh, there's
But
no
that's the
question.
thing, right? 30 or 53 3/4 is okay.
It's a monster fish.
54 1/10 is not.
Yep.
So it's like, son of a gun. All right. So Blair tells the officers say, we're on our way. Keep it alive. Those officers came all the way upriver, found us,
Yep.
jumped on board. Officer Nelson jumped on board. And he said, first thing he says is, how are you measuring this fish? I said, hey, I'm laying it on a tape, pushing it up against a hard edge like you're supposed to, running the tape I'm doing everything textbook.
Tape under it.
Tape underneath the fish, like
Yeah.
how you are required in the regulations. Long and short, fish, well, he looks at it and goes, son of a gun, that is the biggest keeper, blah, blah, blah.
That you can possibly
that you can
kill.
probably- there it is. Officer Nelson on there with a 53.5 inch fish
What a
from my
stud.
Dave. An absolute monster.
The fish, not you.
Oh, Dave, and then my guy, Dave Demers. That's the guy who caught the fish, showcased right there. Very, very, very cool. Awesome job for the officers coming up, check the fish, said, tag him and bag him. Gave me his card, took a picture. They didn't have to do that. They made my life easier, being helpful. And so huge shout out to those guys up there.
I thought you
running
told
those
them to come
streets.
board me because they come right up to me after. And
Oh,
they said,
yeah.
how are you measuring your fish? And I showed them. They said, that is exactly what we want to
That's
see.
exactly what we want to see. So huge shout out to WW officers and the sheriff guys. They're
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming and doing that. Meant a lot. They're there to help you guys.
Yeah.
Obey the rules. You don't got no problems. Awesome stuff. And we got to keep the fish. Cool thing about that fish though, we go to clean it, and this is the part that just blows me away. The sturgeon had 2 whole walleye in it, about that big, spiny teeth, whole walleye,
And a smallmouth.
and a smallmouth bass. So I'm glad I killed the son of a gun.
Yep.
Eat my smallmouth like that. He can't be doing that. Had a smallmouth that big in its belly too, guys.
Yeah, I'm cleaning my fish on my table, and he
Crazy.
throws the smallmouth
I
at
throw
me.
the. I'm like, look
I'm like,
at
what
this.
the
I
hell?
throw the smallmouth. It's like a pound smallmouth.
Yeah.
So
Next year, go get your
Yeah.
bait early.
Well,
what?
Go get your
I don't know if
smallmouth.
that's legal.
Yeah, we
I
got
don't
to check
even
on
know
the
where-
regulations,
But
but
it's been thought about.
yeah.
Yeah. So either
Don't
way,
kill
guys.
all Cameron's
Obviously, a walleye and a bass has a very distinct odor.
We're done talking about it because I don't even know if it's illegal or not. We're gonna look into it. Anyways, lots of enforcement up there this year. Great to see those guys out there checking a lot of boats. I've never been boarded so much in my life, but you know what?
Me either.
it was
I've been
a good
boarded
time.
more this winter than I have in 18 years of guiding.
Yeah. So huge shout out to those guys. Always good to see them on the water. So, yeah. Anyways, let's just.
One more thing.
Oh my God!
I hope they make the slot limit slightly smaller and move up.
Lots
the
to
minimum
talk about
size.
next November. Lots to talk about next November.
I would like to see the 44 to 54.
I'd like to see at least a 40 because the season's close.
And I talked to that officer about that, and the one thing is the tribes would have to agree on the same slot limit, or when they do their long line fishery, it wouldn't work for us.
There's a lot there. It's not as easy as just
changing it.
Yeah. But it was a good season up there. Lots of fish. Great keepers.
Awesome
weather. Sorry y'all missed it, but it's time for Steelhead. I just wanted to give that shout out to those guys. I hope they're watching. I hope somebody's watching. Let them know. It is appreciated much. Let's do a giveaway, guys, and get the heck out of here because it is 8:40. How are we still here? Oh, we don't have to work tomorrow. They close the season.
We still got to go get dinner.
Yes. All right. Pick a winner, Clint. Let's get out of here. Ryan from Riverside Guide Service, Blair from BGS Northwest, Brandon Gossett with an egg, a chicken egg. You've won the Mike Kaplan Addicted Surprise Prize Pack. Be sure to email orders@addicted.fishing. Tell us that you won the surprise prize pack, and Mike will get something out to you. Be sure to include your address. The rest of you guys, I don't want to hear no whining when the Addicted Mega Bashes tickets are sold out. That is your last warning. What's so funny? I missed it. That is Clint is the man. Cam is okay. Yes, I typed that too and wrote that. So can't you tell? I am glad he's putting comments up on the screen now. That's good. We've had a. All right, you guys. We will see you next week.
You got to treat, happy employee is a good employee.
He's not a good employee.
Oh, gee.
He's not. We love you, Clint. There, I said it.
I go to bat for you at least, Clint. That was hard.
If it wasn't for Clint, we would have no live feed. Thank you, Clint. All right.
God, that was like pulling alligator
God,
teeth.
it hurt my jaw. Oh. We're out. Turn it off. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Ryan and Blair.